Life is like an aeroplane here in Duck Burg. Darts, cars, race cars, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day we're out and making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales, woo! There's a stranger out to find you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales, woo! Every day we're out and making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales, woo! DuckTales, woo! Alright, now we've done that. I did not do super well. This list of lyrics that I have was not super helpful. But we're going to be going on into DuckTales tonight. Hello, hello, I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever I feel like, every Friday at 9:15. And tonight, we are going to be playing some, shockingly enough, DuckTales. This feels a little bit loud. I'm going to make it a little bit quieter. Just pull this baby up here. Alright, what do we got? I take this and I make it look more like that. There we go. Why is Microsoft Edge making noise? Oh wait. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're not doing it in my neck of the woods. What did I want to do? Nothing? Nothing? I think we got it all. If I had it all! Anyway, happy Monday everybody, I'm the Chris who plays games, and maybe I'm not streaming? Can you see me? Maybe I should check that. Okay, you can't see me. Cool. And there's 3 whole people watching. One of, probably like 4 of which are me, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. Fine. It's fine. All is well. I meant to actually pull this file up and don't do it. Okay, cool. You can see me. I can see you. Yeah, so I am playing a couple of different games here. Oh, is my oh, there we go. I forgot how this game works, but I got it now. All is well. Yeah, so I'm playing some DuckTales tonight. I was looking through, and although I have myself recorded as playing this game for about 20 minutes in one of my NES game streams, I cannot find the actual time that I played it through. Now, I'm pretty sure that I beat this game one time on stream, and my guess is that I beat it in a stream that I then went on to play something else in, and as a result, it never got recorded into my game sheet. But because I have forgotten when that was, tonight we're just going to be playing this game, and we're going to be playing through this game, and I'm hopeful that this won't take us too long, and we will end up going on and playing DuckTales 2, and if we have extra time, we will always have the opportunity to go on and play, ow, get out of here. Okay, so these guys keep coming back, just like in Mega Man. Get out of here. That we will have the opportunity to go on and play something else. What is the something else? DuckTales 2. And if we finish DuckTales 2, maybe we'll play something else after that. Who knows? No, I was looking at Darkwing Duck maybe if we get that far, but I think it's unlikely that we'll actually get that far because, you know, I'm good, but I'm not that good. Bubba's trapped in the ice. Please help him. Well, what if I don't want to help him? What if my opinion on Bubba is like, screw that guy. I don't need no stinking Bubba. No, I don't want no Bubba, no, I don't want to give you mine, and no, I don't want to meet you nowhere. Alright, there you go, Bubba. I save me, I show you secret treasure. Well, okay, I'm glad that you showed me a secret treasure, because that means I have 4 life now. Hello, the Awesomeness Destroyer, how is it going? I do try to always be watching. It is in my tagline. It's the rule number N of CPG. Mr. Mulligan, long time no see, my friend. I feel like. Maybe it has been not long, and you were here like last Tuesday on a day that I didn't stream, and I just didn't notice you in the chat. But anyway, it is Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. I am the Chris who plays games, and I'm happy to have everybody here. I hope that you are happy to be here. You've been good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and grab this thing. Maybe that was a good idea. Bad idea? Not sure. Invincibility feels like a good thing. Get out of here, bad guy. All right, let's get started. Hello, Org Chaos. You got a new update, got a new PS2. No, I do not want a lift back to Duck Burg. I do not. Life is like an aeroplane. No. Life is like a hurricane. Life is like a hurricane here in Duck Burg. Race cars, blazers, aeroplanes. It's a Duck Burg. Org is not a word, so that's probably not how the lyrics go. Anyway, hello, Org Chaos. Hello, hello, and howdy. We got some hockey skaters coming at me. Can I make this guy do the thing? Oh! Ah, there we go. I don't know that there's anything over here that I want, but I feel like it was well defended, so I had to try. Alright, there we go. Does this game have any ponytails or Gotham tails? I don't think so. Oh, fuck! Shoot, nuggets. Excuse my language. I mean, can any of you care? Yes, excuse me while I swear on my stream. Oh god, all of my advertisers are going to depart from me and run to, you know, someone else. I was reading a, someone suggested, so one of the people I follow on Twitter, was a, she worked as like a line cook for a long time, and she wrote a book about it. And so she, you know, generally working class individual, who wrote a book about her experiences, and, you know, got lucky, it got picked up, and she's been invited to speak all over the world, and just says, you know, it's really kind of weird. There's a ton of weird aspects of this experience. And someone earlier today or yesterday or something like that was like, Linda, you should have a cable TV news show. Like, you should have a show on CNN. And she's like, you know, yeah, I would last like a whole hour before they canceled me. I think she said 2 weeks, but I think an hour would be more realistic. Because, you know, working class and willing to swear up a storm and everything that goes along with that. And of course, this is the fundamental problem with advertising, or one of the fundamental problems, at least, with advertising, is that it does so much overvalue kind of politeness of a certain variety rather than anything else. Okay. Go ahead and go to Transylvania. And so she, you know, she creates great content, but she creates and shares it in a way that is toxic to advertisers, and she knows it. She's not, you know, surprised by that, and doesn't think there's anything that she particularly sees as wrong with it. But she knows that she would not be able to be effective in that environment as a result of it. And it's a shame. It's a shame that we kind of live in this... Alright, guess what? This house has an illusion wall. That's, like, I have not saved him. He is still standing there. Like, I have done no discernible change has happened. And yeah, and certainly, like, there is an extent to which, like, teachers and parents and other things like that are expected to teach a certain aspect of civility, but when you're talking about terrible people, using terrible words to describe them should not be the thing that we're upset about, right? Like, that should not be where we're drawing the line. I suppose this is an illusion wall, but still. Alright, there we go. Look at all that life I got. I got them all. Hello, Dorian. So yeah, you know, when I think about using a swear word and the negative effect that could have on my channel, aka none, I'm thankful that, you know, it is possible to be you know, to get in a situation where the gatekeepers have little effect on my life and little effect on what I'm doing, but also realize that, you know, without platforms like this, and realistically, like, there's still costs and potentials for advertisers to be upset about these things. It's the whole adpocalypse in general, right? Is about advertisers not being happy with exactly the type of content that they're seeing on YouTube. All right, there we go. First Amendment rights are about the government. There is relatively little that the government is doing to take away any meaningful control from people. It's not that there's none. There certainly are some risks. I think that the attempt by the government using, you know, official White House accounts to shame senators and other things like that. It's in Transylvania. Where the heck is it in Transylvania? This is what I had a problem with last time. Somewhere in this place there's a key. Got it. Cool. Not bad. That was pretty quick. Yep, I had to transfer luckily, it transfers you right there, and luckily the key is pretty near the entrance, and like, I don't think that they could actually make that any easier than they do, but it is still the case that, like, yeah, you've gone to Transylvania, and now you're gonna come here, and now you have to go back. Oh man, Mr. Mulligan, that sucks. Alright, let's get moving. Keep your body moving till the broad daylight. Key 8 K-L-I-T-E, alright? Anyway, I don't know where I was going. No, so political correctness is oftentimes used as a, like, slur on certain types of speech when it's not appropriate to look at it that way, in my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna bounce across these guys. Cool. It's a hidden treasure. Cool. But yeah, so overall, my opinion is that, like, freedom of speech never meant freedom from consequences. It never meant that you could say whatever you wanted. Like, that's not what the term freedom of speech has ever referred to. And the fact that some people feel that they are unable to speak in certain ways is not evidence that freedom of speech is dead. It's that, you know, your words have consequences. They always have. Now, I do think that there are limitations being put on freedom of speech by our government, insofar as attacking people's right to protest or express their opinions, or, you know, for example, the woman who was sued by the government because she laughed when Jeff Sessions was described as someone who had never hurt anybody, and the woman who was sued by the Trump administration for, you know, flipping Trump the bird. Those are actual cases of inhibition of freedom of speech. They are legitimate and problematic limitations of freedom of speech that come from the government taking action. But if you are afraid that someone is going to dislike what you say and you choose not to say anything as a result, like, that's a choice that you can and should make for yourself. But it is not a choice that means that freedom of speech is dead. It means that, you know, you have that choice. And I think, frankly, people should be much more afraid of offending people than they are. I think that, like, we have lost, or rather, I think that people are afraid of offending the wrong people. And that in general, there is a lack of, take you out. Go ahead and get up here somehow. Probably off that B that I just missed. Okay. Oh, I think they can do this. But yeah, I mean, seriously, what have, like, look at this stream. Look at, and ask me, or give me one example where you think, like, fear of offending someone has caused me from expressing my opinion. Like, you can express your opinion without being, like, your honest and true opinion of someone without being, cruel. I just don't see the relation there. Goddamn. Okay, that's fine. Can't get me, B. Take you out. Okay, so this is gonna disappear as soon as I go on it. Yep. God damn it. Oh, and I gotta start all the way fucking over. Excuse me. I like that the rocks are just sitting there in midair. Like, they clearly have a spawn point. Is there any reason for me to go to the bottom? I don't think so. Go across the top. Go. Bullmon, I did not hear about that one, but, let's see. Oh man, I just had one. Oh yeah, so how many tickles does it take to tickle an octopus? To tickle an octopus, it takes 10 tickles. Get it? 10 tickles? Oh man, I'm so funny. Dad jokes ahoy. Hello, Matzo. Oh god. Oh god. No! Again. God damn. Excuse my death here. So controlling a person's speech controls them is, he died a little inside. Oh, cool, man. You cracked me up. You just keep that up all night. Like every 1 minute, you just do another one of those. I will be totally happy. Again, I have never engaging in a debate with someone worried about offending them. Like, have I considered and attempted to learn how to behave more responsibly when describing people or when interacting with people? Yeah, sure, I have. But that doesn't not mean that, like, that's not a limitation of freedom of speech. If you can't figure out how to express an opinion without offending someone, like, that's not a limitation of speech by someone else. That's a limitation of your own imagination and ability to be involved with other human beings. Cool, man. Are you gonna be here all night? I just flew in from Berlin, and boy, are my arms tired. Sure, and people who aren't as good at communicating will have a harder time debating effectively. I agree with that, but it is not the case that most people can't learn how to be better. How do I like a... I'm gonna find out later that I'm not even going the right way. Like, the boss is totally at the bottom and I'm just like going to the top for absolutely no reason. Ow. But yeah, so yeah, some people aren't good at communicating, and in general, the lack of education on how to have a civil debate certainly causes a problem for people having civil debates in this country. But I don't think that your inability to be civil has any bearing on the level of freedom of speech you have. Sure. Oh, I can't, because I don't have enough money. Fine, I'll just bounce off this guy instead. Use your cane to defeat the treasure keepers. Is this like supposed to be the first time that I've run into those things or something? I don't know. Hello, Celso. Ah! Go ahead, try and jump on me. Ow! Well, so one thing that's interesting to me is that when you're in the top bar area, the numbers disappear and the sprites disappear, and that's very clearly an effect to get around the sprite limitations of the NES, which had a limitation of number of sprites in a scan line, and so it couldn't handle Scrooge being up there as well as drawing all the numbers. I'd tell you a chemistry joke, but I know I wouldn't get a reaction. So at one point I remember when Stat had just started streaming, he would do like a thing where like every, I don't know, like 5 subscribers or something, he would give a stat fact. And so he had this whole like set of facts that he had cooked up that he would pull from. And I always thought that was really enjoyable, and I actually when what's it called? Worth It, which is another YouTube show on the platform, is on. those guys will have a fact about, you know, whatever they're going to do that day. So like if they're doing Worth It on sushi, they'll have a sushi fact or anything else like that. And having those like interludes and breaks, I think is really interesting. And I think that's one of the things that they actually said at VidCon was that Adam, who was their sound guy, was basically not in a lot of their episodes, and like, he was just always in the background, just kind of like shit talking them while they were driving someplace. And at one point, like, they just included like a small comment from him, and the entire audience was like, we just want more of that guy. Like, whatever we have to do to get more Adam. And after that, they started including a bunch of him in every episode because the audience liked it. And I think that those like interludes away from the core purpose of the episode is part of what makes their no, I don't. It's part of what makes their show interesting. It's one of the things that makes them, you know, kind of stand out. So, oh, I love the BuzzFeed stuff, Mulligan. I love it. I absolutely am a huge fan. Okay, I got the key to the UFO, so that's good. I honestly, like, I guess I've played this game enough to know some of which way I have to go at this point. Which is funny, because definitely when I played this during one of my NES streams, I had no idea. But I played through it once or twice. Paco! Holy crap, good to see you, man. How's your, you're doing, Super Mario Bros. 3? No, Super Mario World? You're mentioning the number of exits, and I was confused, because, like, I don't think of Super Mario Bros. 3 as having multiple exits per level. But you're doing a ROM hack, right? I've been watching a little bit of your commentary on Twitter. The YLF BuzzFeed series. So I saw, was there a series? I know I saw like 1 or 2 of them. I didn't realize there was like a whole series. Well, yeah, I am doing pretty well, and I'm pretty impressed with myself. I have no reason to be, but I am anyway. Have you ever tried to eat a clock? It's very time-consuming, but So is it Super Mario Bros. 3 or is it Super Mario World? Or is it, like, am I misunderstanding something? Is there no distinction between these and I'm just confused? Bless me bagpipes, now Gizmo Duck can blast that wall. Oh, okay, I guess I got a wall I gotta blast. Ah, I got it. Yeah, I mean, so I think one of the things about BuzzFeed, of course, is that the, like, overall, BuzzFeed is, so BuzzFeed is interesting because it very clearly has set itself up to, like, take advantage of people willing to go out there and make content to make a name for themselves and do these other things. Okay, well, that was not as useful as I wanted it to be. And I worry I'm gonna die on the way back. Gotcha. I do love the Super Mario Bros. 3 physics. I almost considered playing Super Mario Bros. 3 tonight, because Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of those games that consistently gets me like a handful of different viewers that I don't normally have, and I'm feeling a little bit lonely in some of my. I've been pouting that many of my old friends are gone. But yeah, so I was thinking of playing Super Mario Bros. 3 to pick up a couple extra viewers, but look at all the people I got tonight. It's like super fun, so. Alright, so I believe Gizmo Duck is gonna be down further, right? New room, who dis? Oh god! That was dumb. Okay, I don't need Launchpad. So I think the problem with this game, though, if I remember correctly, is that there are no continues. So if I die, that's just it. So. Alright. Alright, I'm scared of that pit, but I know I can go right and take a rope down further over, so let's do that. Ow. How did I don't jump right into spikes? It's a good plan, good plan. There we go. Ice cream! Come on, buddy. Come on down. Drop me some ice cream. Nope, no ice cream. Oh, ice creams! Ice cream, ice cream! Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Okay, so I think maybe... Yeah, so if I remember correctly, what happens is if you go over here early, you don't have that control, so Gizmo can't break through the wall in the bit that's coming up here. There you go. Yeah, so that part, without Gizmo, you can't do that. But now I have the remote, so Gizmo can break through that, and I can go into here. I'm just brilliant. I got the right things just by random chance. Oh god. I think that just says a lot about like what I see is like I always see all the things that look like glitches. Oh shit, this is gonna go badly. Yes. So who's in the World Cup at this point? Are we on semifinals or finals yet? I know England is in. I'm pretty sure Brazil is out. I know Germany is out. Is that it? Are there other people? I got the cheese, the stinky, stinky moon cheese. Hey, Aurora. So Aurora's someone I ran into on Twitch. I think the same username over on Twitch. I bumped into her on Sunday. She was doing some cross stitch. Oh crap. There was a message that I didn't read. Crap. World Cup soccer competition. But yes, so we talked a while about cross stitch and Lego and other things like that. Tonight she was chilling out and exploring a art-focused makerspace, which is interesting to me because I haven't actually seen many art-focused makerspaces before. And part of this is, of course, because my entire makerspace experience is centered around like tech people. But I thought that was an interesting alternative to the kind of more common forms of makerspaces I've seen, which are very technological. Gotcha, so we're on the semifinals, France versus Belgium and Croatia versus England. Yep, that's right, Stingray. You got it in one. I also changed my username on Twitch from CR Schmidt to Chris Plays Games CPG because I got tired of the fact that no one who reads CR Schmidt really knows what it says. And I found out that you can change usernames on Twitch, which is great. Because I never really wanted to get rid of my Twitch username to create a new Twitch account because I had my other one for so long. Like I've had it since literally it's oh there you go. She's gotta tell you the username is different on Twitch. See, this is what I get for not paying that much attention. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know what the heck I'm doing because I didn't actually read the little warning thing. But yeah, I've been exploring Twitch a little bit more because Jose and I keep having arguments about whether YouTube Live is successful or not, and so I keep trying to explore Twitch to see if I feel like the environment is different. And primarily one of the things I definitely feel is that the creative community on Twitch is much stronger than the creative community on YouTube. I think there's just more people doing cool things over there, so. So these days you can probably, I'm trying to figure out if you can, yeah, I don't know. It's, YouTube has gone through so many different things and there's like 4 different types of accounts and everything else like that, so. Oh yes, so one of the other things they mentioned to you earlier on is like one of the walls in this thing is an illusion wall, and you're like, what the freak is an illusion wall? But if you're, you can figure out that an illusion wall is a wall you can walk through. So, Gaming Lawyer, good to see you. I feel like I've missed you the last couple streams, and I've missed your streams, man. I know, that's not like a please, feel guilt tripped, but rather just a reminder that you are an important person in my life, and I continue to look forward to when you feel comfortable enough to stream again. Okay, this looks different. I have not been here. Head duck and jump! Yeah, of course you have to start over. Okay. So that was dumb of me. I should have saved after this. Rule number 4, CPG should always cheat. So there we go, there's my cheating. We'll go back. And this time I'll actually read what it says. Yeah, so interestingly, the Women's World Cup team is very good. But the Men's World Cup team, or the US Women's World Cup team is very good. The Men's US World Cup team is not good. You want to get back to treasures, come to Dracula Duck Manor. Okay. It was me that got you streaming? Really? That's cool. I had no idea. Yeah, no, the US definitely has a team. Not sure why your friends told you they don't. They're not very good, or well-respected, but they do exist. Both men's and women's have a team. Okay, this time we're gonna toss the save state here. Ah! Oh, got you back streaming. Okay. This jump sucks. I cannot imagine, like, having to go through that jump, like, you know, the whole game several times just so that you could do that one jump, like that one maneuver. Ugh, so annoying. So this is, I mean, like, I'm a big fan of difficulty ramps. I am really not a big fan of, oh, and this was totally the wrong place anyway. God. I'm really not at all a fan of these, like, you know, oh, there's something totally different here, and that's different than every other part of the game, and you gotta deal with it, so. But yeah, I mean, so one of the things that I've been trying to figure out recently is my creative impetus. So one of the things that I'm actually doing is that my community television station actually offers a ton of video production courses. And so I've signed up for a whole bunch of them. I'm going to be taking a class on, like a Premiere boot camp. I'm going to be taking, god damn it. Okay, so that is clearly not the right way. Hello, Matus. I guess maybe I should just go to the boss room again? But I'm trying to figure out, like, I feel like the mirror that went to the boss room no longer goes to the boss room? Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, hello, Matus. Yeah, so they didn't make it to the actual World Cup because the World Cup was, is typically considered like the rounds of whatever that we're in now. Oh, this looks different. Nope, not different at all. God damn it. Freaking maze levels. You have your letters to uphold. Yeah, I'll take Gander, that's fine. I mean, like, the reality is that given your continued ability in every, like, you have probably run into me. We've been talking together for now like 2.5 years. 2.5 years, almost 3 years. You see me, I don't know, let's say an average of like 3 to 4 times per week. Almost every single time that you've seen me, you've come up with a unique name for me that uses the letters P and G. Like, you have given me something along the lines of like 500 unique expansions of my initials. That's pretty good. Oh, no worries, Aurora. I am 100% oh, that's right. I left my AC on. I meant to turn it off so the noise wouldn't bother people. I don't know. It bothers me. It bothers me that it's noisy. So. But yeah, so one of the things that I'm taking a class on is a thing called Zip Docs, and I don't know why they're called Zip Docs, but it will be... Okay. It will be a 5-part course where I will produce a documentary. So they're going to go over through scripting and all of these other things, many of which I may know, some of which I may not, at the community television station. And so at the end, I will learn things. I'm also taking the Adobe Premiere boot camp, I am taking the color correction course because I want to understand color correction, and I feel like it's something that I cannot understand well from YouTube tutorials, and so I want to like get in and understand that better. Let's see, second one or first one? Well, let's just toss a save state. Oh, look, Jess is there. Hi, Jess. Jess is also behind me. I don't know if you can see her.
Someone...
Oh, there you are. Look at that. I found you. That is the right... Well, so Julie is the... really, it's fair to ask about both of them. Julie is doing all right. Julie went to... oh, okay. So this looks like a boss. That's good. The ER. So Julie... So you know how they stopped selling those stupid like buckyball magnets in the US because people were swallowing them, and it turns out that the magnets are strong enough that they will, like, if they're separated in your intestine, they'll rip through your intestine and hurt you. Apparently, like, our daughter never got the, like, paid attention to
She did not get the memo.
Don't put magnets in your mouth. And so, like, she's 17. I didn't think I actually had to tell her that, but I should have known better. And so she put magnets in her mouth and swallowed 2 buckyball magnets. And so on Sunday night, she spent the evening, or Saturday night, she spent the evening at the hospital. They imaged and found them in her stomach, and so they tried to do an endoscopy to try and, like, get them out. Failed to do so. And so basically said, well...
She had surgeon's comment.
They can't hear you, but yeah, so she had eaten something blue. I'm gonna turn just a second. Well, that's still get out of here. And I'm this off for now. Okay. Yeah, so she had eaten something blue.
It's 2 a.m. I was taking my tickles where I could get them.
Yeah. So yeah, so on Saturday night, like, I drove up to her dad's, I got her, we brought her back down, she went to Children's, MGH? Children's, where they attempted to get them out. Thankfully they were together, and so they just basically said, like, just let them, you know, go through, let them pass, there's only 2 of them, it should be okay. And so far she hasn't died or complained of any, you know, internal hemorrhaging, so...
She's definitely complained, but mostly because she wants to complain.
Yes, well, she complained, like, this morning, she was like, can I just, like, not go to work? And I'm like, look, if you were, like, ill for some reason related to your own illness and not because you're, like, an idiot, I would be much more sympathetic to you, but as this is, no. Oh god, if I want the treasures back.
I took her in for follow-up x-rays today, but I have not gotten a notification from radiology at the hospital yet, what they think of it.
I win! I beat this lady who's trying to steal my treasure.
Your viewers, like me?
No, this lady who's trying to steal my treasure, I said.
Right, lady who's trying to steal your treasure.
Lady, well, no, it was in the game. See, there's a game here?
I see the game.
Yeah, she was trying to steal my treasure, but I got it. Because I'm Scrooge McDuck. Hello, Station 82. Daring explorer Scrooge McDuck has found the 5 legendary treasures, making him the richest duck in the world. Congratulations. I mean, he only has, like, $8.3 million. That's not really the richest duck in the world anymore. Like, Jeff Bezos has 123...
He's not a duck either.
He has $123 billion. Like, and he probably owns a duck.
He might own a duck, but the duck does not own his assets.
That's true.
He made the duck sign a probably not a prenup, unless he has an interesting relationship with the duck we don't know about.
That's true. I really am the richest. I couldn't have done it without you. I really am the richest duck in the world.
Gaming lawyer, what would be a pre-adoption agreement to make sure that the duck did not get to have a share of his assets?
We want to have a prenup, but it's not a pre-duck. It's a pre-adoption. You're saying?
Yes, I said it's not a prenup, not a pre-duck.
It's not a pre-duck. It's a pre-adoption, whatever that word would be. Hello, Maythros. It's true. It was a lot more money back then. I agree. But like, all right, inflation. So let's do this. Inflation.
West Egg calculator.
Calculator. That's not what I wanted to do. Calculator.
Like I said, it will be on westegg.com.
Alright, Westegg. Westegg inflation calculator. Enter the amount of money. 8.03. Well, 803. No, 8300, 123. There we go. 1989. 2017 is fine. It's close enough.
Are guys not
So
good at
that's
numbers?
that's like 16.6 million. Like 16.6 million is nothing. Like that's like a pittance. I mean, if you have $16.6 million, you're barely a multimillionaire. You're trying to reassure me of something? Wow. Okay.
20 years ago, I got $1.2 billion, and now I have $1.4 billion.
So why? I'm confused that this Scrooge. Okay, so you had 63 billion US dollars. Okay, so I will admit that if you have 63 billion US dollars, you are a rich duck. And possibly the richest duck. That's fine. I'll take it.
By duck standards.
By duck standards. Like, by duck standards, you're doing pretty well. Cool.
We're totally first against the wall when the revolution comes.
Okay. So this game I beat pretty quick. So that's good. So let's play another game. DuckTales. Woo.
Did you beat the game?
Yeah.
In like half an hour?
42 minutes.
Were you speedrunning?
Nope. I was just playing the game. You made a game for school? What'd you make? What kind of game? Is it a text adventure? When I was in school, I tried to program a MUD. It didn't go well. That was my C++ class.
I programmed a version of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Programmed a version of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There you go. A platformer for programming. That's cool. I also did a platformer on stream at one point. It was using Defold, which is a programming platform that the creators of Candy Crush bought at one point. So there's actually a whole video about the game, and you can find it on chrisplaysgames.com under the Retro Squad game. It was voted the best game in its class. It's awesome.
How many students were in the class?
Alright, where to, Uncle Scrooge? We'll go to Scotland. This ancient castle is ruled by an evil sorcerer who guards a secret treasure known as the Lamp of Eternity. Do I want to go there? Sure, that sounds good.
Well, it's not like Scotland has the opportunity to get the World Cup this year, so they have to stick with what treasures they've got.
That's true.
Or Scotland.
I mean, England. That's
That's
a place. Ow! Ow! Scotland's not a separate country. It's not!
It is!
It's not!
Oh my gosh.
It's not like Ireland. Ireland's a separate country. Look, the UK is weird, alright? Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, Wales. Those are 4 things, but they're not 4 countries. They're 4, like, countries. I'm being attacked.
You're being patted on the shoulder.
They're all countries.
All 4.
I know them, but okay. The problem here is that administrative divisions and the problem here is that administrative divisions everywhere are just a disaster. Like, there is no, like, central thing you can use that will allow you to meaningfully... Ooh. Okay, so I have to...
on top of your hat.
I do. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so I can somehow swing at this and then pull? Okay, well, I died, so that was not super effective because I already pulled out the thing. Yeah, it's a country that's part of a country. Like, that's not fair. You can't do that. I'm a programmer.
Are you saying that you can't have recursive classes?
I don't think that calling Scotland Britain's butlers, I feel like, is going to get you in more trouble than I am in right now. And I'm already in a lot of trouble.
When are you actually in trouble with me?
I mean, you hit me.
Hard?
I don't know.
You have 2 brothers.
I do. That's true.
They're pretty good at beating the crap out of you when the need arises, and I've never managed so much as smack you.
Okay, so difference between this game and other games is that this duck actually has a thing that he can use his cane to hold on to things. So I can do this.
And this duck doesn't have a dog that laughs at you whenever you miss.
I mean, that's true about DuckTales 1 as well, though, so.
Well, I don't know which DuckTales you're playing.
I said Northern Ireland! I didn't say Ireland. I know there's a difference between Ireland. Ireland is a totally separate country that's not part of the country that Northern Ireland is in. I was actually watching, like, at one point, a news program.
Northern Ireland is an Ireland.
North
Same island.
Islands, yeah, not...
Northern Ireland actually takes their status as part of the UK quite... It is a point of great...
consternation, pride, something.
Contention.
Yeah. But yeah, so in general, I am very smart. I am very smart. That's like a subreddit, isn't it?
Yes, I am very smart.
It's people who are...
Also, I am 14 and this is deep.
Yeah, people who are being very dumb posted to I am very smart. Anyway,
They're Redditors, what do you expect?
I mean, I know. You're in Northern Ireland. Okay, well, there you go. But yes, I am well aware that there is a significant and major distinction between... What is this?
Which county?
Okay.
Why do you never ask the relevant questions?
Because I don't care about which county he's in, because I don't know anything about those counties, so why would it matter to me? Also, I generally disagree with the idea of asking people to reveal geographic information about themselves online in a public and indexable way. Like, if they want to do that.
Don't tell me which county you're in, then.
I'm just saying, like, that's... You asked the questions why. Okay, so, can I...
Oh! You're a black Protestant. Got it.
Okay.
Those divisions still hold, darling.
But
He
yes.
said that if people were of another religion, they would say the north of Ireland. Catholics are pro-unification of Ireland, and Protestants tend to be pro-remaining in the union with Britain. Although, remaining with Britain, not maybe the smartest idea in the wake of Brexit.
The whole Brexit thing, I feel like, is fucking with a lot of the traditional, like Northern Irish plans at this point. So...
Well, I think that they were one of the biggest... arguers for leave, as I recall.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I should not have tried to get that treasure chest. Now I know. Okay, yeah, so what does it say? I don't know, you distracted me.
I'm very sorry, my
That's
darling.
okay, I deserved
Something
it.
about ducks and Scotland and how you don't know the difference between the various countries that make up the United Kingdom.
I mean, the United Kingdom, what, you can't unite countries and make a country. That's not how countries work. Like,
Yes, if you unite countries, you can make a new nation, though. Guess what? It turns out that Austria and Hungary have retained very separate identities. This was also a point of great contention. Even though they were both part of the Habsburg Empire.
So this game is going to be a lot harder because I don't know it very well, apparently. I couldn't even make it past the first level without dying, so this is going to be a problem for me. Also, how do I... Oh, I can pull. Hook and pull? Yeah, okay.
I thought Scotland was one of the biggest advocates for leave. They want that North Sea oil money.
Watch your step, Uncle Scrooge. Gyro has created some rubber rafts for you. To move them, hit the side wall with a golf swing.
You also make an empire by totally ignoring the rights of people to their own countries.
Yeah, if you just ignore everyone who says it's their country, then, you know, it's very easy to do silly things.
Yeah, we can't speak the native language of our country.
Yeah, okay, well, I will grant that you can make an empire by joining together other countries. That's fine. I'm willing to call the United Kingdom an empire rather than a country and everything inside of it a country. That's fine. I'll take that.
Empire on which the sun never sets and the sun now sets at 7:34 p.m. GMT?
Yes, that was correct. It used to never set. But Canada still has some kind of relationship to the Queen. It's a Commonwealth or something.
Yes, Commonwealth. But trust me, Canada also does not want to be part of Britain.
Okay.
Neither does Australia.
I mean,
neither does New Zealand.
Massachusetts is also a Commonwealth, and we're not part of the UK.
We're a different kind of Commonwealth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want the Queen on my money.
Metros?
Mathros.
Metros.
Yeah.
Metros? My family came here when the default language was still Abenaki. So Scotland was a majority in Remain, huh? Well,
Alright, let's go this way. Oh! Alright, I got up here. Now what? Nothing. God damn it.
God damn it, Matus.
What? It's not Matus's fault. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait till you see what he said.
I saw what he said.
I also have old lady stank.
Okay. I mean, if you've showered recently, presumably you wouldn't.
I showered today.
Well, then I presume you don't have old lady stank. Ah, gosh darn it! Should have paid attention to the thing and not the chat. Chat, you killed me. I mean, I killed me. I'm just bad at this game.
You were talking to me more than the chat.
No, I looked over at what Matzo said, and, you know.
I wasn't complaining about Matzo so much as Matus.
I know what you were complaining about.
Oh,
I'm talking about what
It
I'm
doesn't
complaining
matter.
about.
Oh, is that one of his nephews?
He didn't do it, Yuki. Yeah, it was one of his nephews. Well, so the problem is I don't even know what to cheat at yet. Like, I could get some Game Genie codes, I guess, and have unlimited lives or something, but... No, it's not Matzo. I'm just being silly.
Which nephew do you have to rescue, and why would you want the nephew back?
I mean, I already talked to the nephew. He didn't tell me anything useful. I think this guy's gonna tell me something useful, though. Alright, thanks, Uncle Scrooge. Here, take this iron adapter. You can use it on things that wouldn't break with a normal pogo jump. Okay. But save states, I mean, like, it's not that save states wouldn't necessarily help me out. Like, they would speed things up a little bit, but I don't even know where to go and save state at.
And also, let's be quite honest. It's not like the other game you played lasted more than 45 minutes. You want it to go slower.
Well, I got a third game I can play after this if I need to.
And then you'll play Wario's Woods. As
No.
long as necessary.
No, not gonna play Wario's Woods tonight.
But it's your standby.
No, it takes too long. I'm too good at it.
Well, maybe you could play Tetris.
I'm bad at that. That's for sure. Okay, so I think if I climb up here, and then I fall down to the right, I can get these things. Boink, boink. Yes. Alright, here we go.
What's rule 4? Oh, cheat.
CPG should always cheat. Rule number 4 of CPG.
Matt, I also agree that Scotland deserves independence. But my ancestors fled the Jacobites, so...
I don't know... Like... I don't know how to get that. Oh, I do know how to get that. Aha! I'm smart.
I are smart.
I am very smart. I don't need you, Launchpad. You're just gonna tell me how to go home, and I don't want to go home. I'm gonna win. I came to win. Battle me. That's a sin. Punk, you better smack up. Try and roll the cruel, and now the whole rule will act up. God, I can't words.
You can't rap either.
I can rap with the best of them when I know the words. This is how we do it. It's Friday night. Only it's Monday. And I feel all right.
It is the most Monday of Mondays.
Is this the most Monday of Mondays? Why is that?
Did you not notice that everyone took off last week?
Oh, that's true. Well, not everyone.
Not everyone.
I know because I had a bunch of
Monday.
I had to read a bunch of email this morning, so.
Oh, poor darling.
I know. Yeah, well, so like Brexit had like a huge disaster in it this weekend. Like,
Jeff, you know that isn't how it worked, right? Just want to double check on that.
I mean, Jeff knows.
Okay.
Jeff knows.
Jeff is as smart as I am?
Jeff is, well, no one's as smart as you are, but
You are.
I am. Oh no, ice cream! Ah! I wanted ice cream.
Oh, darling.
I know. Life is so rough.
Should I find you a hoodsie cup?
No, it's fine. I wanted Scrooge to have ice cream. I don't care about it for myself. Alright, buddy.
I could go out and get you a black raspberry frap.
Nope, I'm good, thanks. Ah! Fireballs! God damn it!
Did you eat dinner?
I did, yeah. I had Indian. What's the worst type of ice cream? Oh god, there's so many options for that. I don't know.
There is no that kind of ice cream.
Oh, that's not true. I'm trying to think. What's the
Durian
worst?
fruit?
I mean, that would definitely be up there. Durian fruit would be bad. Let's see.
It's very popular in Chinatown.
Mint is definitely not the worst.
Well, it depends. Are we talking like mint chocolate chip where it's blended with something? Or are we talking like Scope mouthwash flavored?
I mean, I think even that. Yeah, Jess's mothering instincts are hard to get past. It's true.
Oh, what did I do now?
Shrimp, I would definitely put that high on my list personally. I don't like anything shrimp flavored that isn't shrimp, I don't think.
I am a kind mother.
Well, I think it's not that Airbus is threatening to pull all their operations out. I think that they like did pull a bunch of stuff out because they're just like
we're no longer in economic union with you, and this is gonna be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's like
also your money is now worthless.
just like the what's it called, oh, like Harley Davidson, like Trump and his stupid tariffs with Harley Davidson. It's like, yeah, like it's not that Harley is like trying to do something evil. It's just that they're looking at the economic situation that you put them in.
They're like, it turns out we are in business to make
money. Yeah, exactly. Lime is fine. I've had lime. Well, I've at least had lime frozen yogurt, and that's fine. But yeah, I would say like I've also seen stupid things like Thanksgiving dinner.
That, citrus is usually a sorbet because citrus and milk are not a happy combination.
I have definitely had lime frozen yogurt and it was fine. I'm not saying that it's common. I'm just saying that I have had it. Okay, so I can destroy these now. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and grab myself an ice cream.
Are you into destroying things?
I am into destroying things that are in my way.
How very, check your privilege.
Anything that gets in my way is gonna die. You know, like Starberry ice cream? Starberry or strawberry? I don't know what a Starberry is. I'm not being...
It's not a thing.
I'm not attempting to say that to just be a jerk. Like, I actually don't know. Yep, I agree. Dreamsicles are pretty good. Okay, I just hop up here. Strawberry. Okay. So one thing I'll note is that, like, the waterfall effect on this level, like the little water splashes at the bottom, not super compelling. They look more like encoding artifacts than they do like anything else. I mean, it's not like it affects the gameplay in any way, but definitely I was watching through and I was like...
I remember those birds from Super Mario Brothers 2. You could ride on top of them sometimes. Yeah, these are not the same kind of birds. Yeah, the little splashes. The little splashes at the bottom, not super compelling. I initially thought that, like, I was looking at a video of it, and I assumed that it was just, like, it looked weird and the encoding was screwing it up. But no, it looks like encoding is screwing it up in the game, too. So, that's good. Alright, get you out of here. Why are you against the frog? What did the frog ever do? He was gonna kill me, is what he was gonna do. Aren't you strong enough to fight off one frog? Yeah, by pogo jumping on his head. That's the way I fight him off. Can't you just negotiate with him? Nope. I don't negotiate with terrorists or terrorist frogs. Fuck. You don't like the French? Dumb. I knew that was not going to go well, and I just did it anyway. Like, as soon as I did that, I was like, this is not going to work. But here we are. Oh, absolutely. So that one of the worst scenes that I've ever seen, there's like a fire level in, well, the reality is that like old games actually don't, because encoding is designed, like most, like H.264 encoding is designed in significant part around the things that are included in normal movies. Like all of H.264 encoding is basically like a shit ton of research by movie studios to produce content that looks good for movie content. And so, like, everything that isn't movie content, like, works less bad. Like, if someone were to produce, or less well, if someone were to produce, like, a video encoding format that was specific to, don't need it, that was specific to video games, it would probably perform so much better. Shush your mouth. As you take my advice. That summarizes the 15 years we've been together. Yeah. Hush your mouth, you right person. God damn. What are you thinking? Damn it, woman. I don't need the save state. I'm gonna survive this without a problem. Do I want to introduce my cats? I don't know. They're not in the room, so. No, the cats are off doing something else. This room does get heated with the computer, but it also
Yep.
Freezes very quickly.
Yep, it's small. Oh, it's not like MP4 is just a container format. You can do MP4, like a ton of different stuff in MP4. I'm gonna buy a continue globe.
Oh, we don't need Comcast. Well, we do tonight, but
yes, yeah. I was gonna say, please don't tell Comcast we don't need them. I disagree wholeheartedly. Like of the things that I need here. Oh, I can only have one of those. Fine.
I'm going back to our room.
Okay.
I only came in here because I was kind of bored.
Okay, well, have you had your fun?
I haven't seduced all of your viewers away from you permanently.
That's good.
I'll work on it.
I mean, you gotta stream more if you want to seduce all my viewers away.
No, I mean, people are like, please stop playing games, Chris, and talk to Jess. They have done that in the past.
They have done that in the past, it's true.
I don't even need to stream to seduce your viewers.
You're right. MP4, I was thinking of it as a, wow, cool, let's go. I like that they put this like roadblock here and all you have to do is walk up to the duck and talk to him. Like there's no gameplay aspect of it, there's no mini game, there's no anything else. It's just like if you walk and talk to this person, then it will do the right thing. Like there's no smarts in that.
I wish to win the love of the internet.
You have a cat that you're gonna share?
Well, it's the best way to win the love of the internet.
This is Ichabod. Ichabod
an asshole.
Would like to say hello.
No, I wouldn't.
Say hello. Hello. Actually, he's usually pretty good about stuff. He's not that much of an asshole.
He's kind of an asshole.
Hello, Narcost. Welcome, welcome. Is that a Game Genie code, Matzo? Matzo. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, Ichabod. I think you unplugged my controller. Hopefully it will recover. I need to get a better like USB cord for this controller. Like I'm using an old Kindle, like the very first Kindle USB cord that I ever bought. And it's gotten a bit, yeah. Okay. Cat is gonna go away. Goodbye, cat. Oh, I'm covered in orange.
Gingers.
Hi.
Are you not wearing clothes? I'm wearing a shirt.
Are you coming to say hi to the internet as well? Okay. Julia would like to say hi to the internet as well. So this is the daughter who believes that eating magnets is a good idea.
You know what? I didn't do it on purpose, so hush, please.
So there you go. I'm not hushing, that's true. So this is Julie. Julie is our 17-year-old daughter. And, oh my god, my face is full of orange fur.
You wanted a cat.
Oh,
I gave you a cat.
I didn't want a cat. The internet wanted a cat. Like,
Aren't you overheated, wrapped up in a blanket?
yes, but she's not wearing clothes, and so she's not going to go on stream without clothes on. And so yes, she is currently working at a daycare center where she's working in the infant room, and is very proud of that this summer. And she got good grades in school this semester, hopefully.
I haven't checked yet.
Well, you should have checked. I told you to check. But whatever, we're gonna pretend that she got good grades in school this semester.
A's and B's.
A's and B's. Did you check? After finals? After the final grades were in? Okay, cool.
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not actually sure. She wanted a more magnetic personality. Yes, I think that's true. Yeah.
She's got some of your magnetic personality. And
You
she's
know,
much more photogenic than I am.
You gotta wake up in like 8 hours, you know.
And you know that there will be 3 babies demanding everything from you, right?
No.
What
There's gonna be 2. There's like 2 teachers and a child that's fully capable of handling the children as well.
Yes, but they love you. Also, you need to brush your teeth.
All right, both of you go away. It's my turn to be on the internet.
Yes, sir.
I love you. I love you, Julie.
Love you.
I curtsied to you
Yeah.
as my lord and master.
Yeah. Good night. Okay. All right. And we can turn this music back up now that I don't have people in the room that I'm competing with anymore. Tomorrow you get to earn money. That's cool. How do I... There we go. Oh, sure. Thank you. You have to cut the grass in a field for your dad in a tractor. That seems not too bad. Is the tractor air conditioned? Because that would make it even better, but I expect it's not. Oh, cool. Extra life. One of the problems with doing anything outside in the past few weeks here would be the fact that it has been ridiculously hot. But we finally escaped from that. Today was warm in the evening or afternoon, but overall it is so much more pleasant than it was a little while ago. Oh my god. It was so... It goes 97 degrees, which is one thing, because I know, like, my daughter just moved back to Palm Springs, and there it was like, you know, 114, but there's like no humidity because she lives in the frickin' desert. But here, oh, did I not? Okay. There we go. Gotcha. I mean, I drink sometimes. I'm just not drinking tonight. I've only got one beer left in the house at the moment, and that's one that I think I'm allergic to, so I'm kind of holding on to it. I should really drink it at some point so that I don't have it in the house anymore. But basically, as far as I can tell, somehow I'm allergic to something in all of Trove's beers. Which is unfortunate because they're actually some of my favorite beers in the world. Like, of all the beers that I've tried on stream, they're some of my favorites, and I can't drink them. But yeah, anyway, what was I thinking? I was thinking something. Oh yeah, so I spent some time over the weekend playing with the web speech API. So basically I was teaching my computer to listen as I did voice recognition commands so that I could read Choose Your Own Adventure books. So in a couple of weeks I'm going to do a Choose Your Own Adventure book stream. I'm actually going to be doing I'm like preparing a couple of different books for it at the moment. And so, yeah, so not this Friday, but probably the following Friday. My plan is that I will be reading Choose Your Own Adventure books, and that you'll be able to vote in chat for which decisions you want to make and everything else like that, so... Is there like a lot of, I mean, the reality is that we don't cook very much, so using beer and cooking is not going to be very effective. No, I mean, I'm not sure that it'll actually be a problem for me, so I'm probably just going to drink it. And it's like, even if it is a problem, it's not like I just use the inhaler and it's fine. I think it's something in the spices or something that does it, so. Take this hammer adapter. You can use it to break the things that a golf swing normally wouldn't. Cool. But yeah, so I'm super excited about that. So basically, and because like I don't want to be flipping pages and doing other stuff like that during a stream, I basically taught the computer to listen to me, and so I can say like go to page 5 or vote page 5, and if I say vote page 5, then it will present the options on page 5 for voting in the YouTube chat. And then after 15 seconds, it will either like take whichever one has won, or it will pick a random one if no one has voted. So I'm super excited. I think it's a cool technology demo, as well as being a cool idea for a stream. So I'm excited about that. No, it's not hops and barley. I think it's specifically some set of spices in that beer, because I mostly like. Yes, I have some minor allergy to many beers, but this one was really bad. Like I had to stop streaming because I couldn't, like, I didn't have my inhaler when I had it last time, and I had to stop streaming so that I could, like, find my inhaler because I couldn't breathe. The Trove. No, we're not gonna try it out tonight, Stingray. I still want to work out some kinks, and I also want to clean up the code, and I want to publish it. So I'm gonna, like, try and go through the open sourcing process or something at work and see if I can get that through so that I can share the code with you. Hello, Van Helsing! I'm so sorry to hear about the passing away of your puppy this morning. It sounds like it was the right thing, but it is still very sad and difficult, I know. Oh, didn't we already do Niagara Falls? No, I don't want to go there. Okay, so I think I did Bermuda and Niagara. So we'll go to Mew. But yeah, so I'm still not 100% sure that there's nothing wrong with it, so. So I want to do more testing, but more importantly, I want to implement a couple more books. So I've got 2 books so far, and I want to go on, and my goal is to have 5 books. It takes me about 20-ish minutes to implement a book. And then I also want to make sure that the book switching support that I've implemented is actually working right before I do anything else with it. So those are the things I want to get done before I try it out. So it'll be a week from Friday. I will go through and give that a shot, and we'll see what people think. I want to get that big treasure chest. There we go. No. Aha! Hello. Give me an adapter. Okay. I mean, because it wanted to kill me, I think is the obvious answer there. Your late night chicken sandwich is ready for you to eat. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's because Python makes things easy. I feel like I don't want to go down there. I'm gonna try though. Okay, I was correct. But I don't know how I get across that. I feel like I may have trapped myself here. Trying to figure out if there's another way to get. Oh, there we go. I made it go away. Cool. Alright, so now I can grab onto this and go down here. Take care, Matzo. Thanks for hanging out. It was good to see you again. I hope you have a good night and a good day tomorrow. But yes, so one of the things I was surprised by is just how easy it is to implement speech recognition stuff. That computers just do this and it's fine. I don't really know what I can do with that, but it's still interesting to me. The other thing that I want to try is that, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't listening to you. That did not go the way I wanted it to, I think. Sink a stone into the sea and the city will appear. Where would we sink it? Well, I assume we would sink it into the sea, dear boy. That's the whole point. But where would we sink it, dear Liza, dear Liza? But where would we sink it, dear Liza? With what? Oh wait, no, that's not quite it. Alright, you're gonna just ask me if I want to go home, and I don't. This looks like the sea, maybe. I don't know if I have a rock, though. Got some ice cream. Okay, so those are spikes. Feel like given there's a chain down there, I feel like those spikes need to go away, but I am a fan of BattleBots, yeah. I've watched a lot of the stuff that they have on YouTube, and I watched the show back when it was on originally a million years ago. Okay, this is a boss. Cool. Ah. Yeah. Yep, it is. It's back on ABC now. It used to be, I watched it back when it was on like Comedy Central and G4 and other stuff like that, so. Oh. Okay. So the trick is to allow him to make the ceiling fall down, which he only does on his second time across. Oh, crap. And then to hit the rock into him. Yeah, this one is definitely harder than the first DuckTales. And I think that's true even if I had not played that game a lot more. These bosses are just more difficult. Like, significantly more difficult. There's one. I guess it helps that I knew where the extra life components were in the other one, which definitely meant that I could do a little bit better at having more life in these levels, but even so. Huh. There we go. That's 3. So I think he's probably not going to make the ceiling fall down while I'm bouncing on his head. So I'm gonna have to bounce over his... God damn it. Trap me in a corner. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to, alright, oh yeah, okay, so Choose Your Own Adventure books. I've just been stealing PDF copies online, and converting a particular book takes me about 20 minutes, so I want to have about 5 books to go through, and we'll go through a little bit. Another thing I want to implement is I want to implement tracing of our path, so like I can go to the end and I can say like, okay, what are the routes that we took to like an end state? By collecting all of the page transitions that lead up to me saying like go to page 1 or something like that. So there's still a couple more things that I want to do, but that's something to look forward. If you think that that's interesting, definitely tell your friends. A week from Friday, I'll be doing that. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 here on the Chris Plays Games YouTube channel. Let's see, other than that, I have been considering doing some experiments around starting off a brand new channel on YouTube and Twitch, just to see, like, if you had no social network to speak of, you had no friends, you had no parents, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, etc., to talk to about it, what would happen if you just started streaming a game? And so I've got a game in mind that I'm going to stream, and I'm going to do the exact same stream, like try and do it the same time of day, same everything, one on Twitch, one on YouTube. I was going to do other platforms too, but then I realized that, like, realistically, Facebook gaming has no one on it, and Twitter gaming is just, it's really, none of these things are really platforms for game streaming. But I'm interested if you just started, like, playing a game, which platform are you going to get more, are you going to get any uptake in like your first 2 streams. So yeah, so that's something I'm interested in knowing. I expect that the answer is that like neither YouTube nor Twitch are going to have any viewers. Like if you don't advertise at all and you just stream a game for an hour, that you will have 0 concurrence for the entire time. No one will say hi, and it'll be very boring. I did something sort of similar to this when I first started on YouTube. I basically just streamed Excite Bike with no... But at the time, I was dumb, and I basically like just sat there and didn't say anything either. So like if anyone came into the stream, of course they wouldn't like say anything or see anything or anything else like that. One thing that I do think is true is that like Twitch and YouTube each have these 2 very different methods of discovery, and it is entirely plausible that one of them is more effective than the other for certain types of content. So retro gaming content, like Twitch has a couple different things. Like one, they have stream communities, so you can pick like retro gaming or speedrunning or other things like that. And of course they also have the browser interface, so if someone is actually looking for, you know, a particular retro game, then they're more likely to find you. YouTube has that in YouTube Gaming, but we talked a little bit about last week that like YouTube Gaming interface doesn't seem to be used very much by viewers, only by creators, which does not mean it's totally useless, but means as a discovery mechanism, like game pages are not very interesting. But what YouTube does have is serendipitous discovery, as we found with a bunch of these different, you know, more minor games, like Medieval. Like Medieval, we had the guy who maintains the primary Medieval, like, message board come in, and, okay, I'm just gonna die so I have 3 hearts again. This 2-heart shit was not cutting it. And so, like, the person who maintains the fan community for Medieval decided to come and watch my YouTube stream. Why was that, or how did he find me? Well, it's very simple. Like, YouTube recommended it to him because he watches a lot of Medieval content. And that's something that you're not going to get on Twitch, is people who are interested in other content just kind of stumbling into your content because of recommendations. So I'm kind of curious if there's enough, like if either one of those is actually effective at bringing people in or not. Like if in either case you're just kind of screwed and you have to bring your own people at least to start, which is how I feel it should be, frankly. Like if you can't get 1 viewer on your stream from some other source, I don't understand how you could imagine that a piece of software could make guesses. So they just added, like, their homepage now has recommendations, like, just this week. Before, the homepage was, like, 5 featured streams, which is, like, more similar to the featured streams on YouTube Gaming, like, at the homepage of YouTube Gaming. They seem to be, like, big featured events or other things like that. Yeah, Orcas, obviously... finding it difficult to keep talking is not a problem that I have, but it is a problem that I had when I started, and it's one of the reasons why I want to do this experiment, is like, now that I have this experience, what have I learned, and can I use that information to do something different? So I've made 2 totally new accounts, not tied to my existing accounts, not tied to any social media. I don't plan to share it, but I just want to do an experiment of like 1 or 2 streams each on these platforms, do 2 hours of streaming, and see if I get any viewership at all. Yeah, Orcas, I think that, like, this is true of a bunch of people who are in this stream, but we are the exception and not the rule. I'm not saying it's impossible, just that it's uncommon. Okay. That's 3 hits. Let's see if we can get 2 more. One. Oh. Oh. God damn it. Should have tossed a save state. But yeah, so I think there's a couple things. Is like, one, if people are looking for the game on YouTube, usually they'll use the search interface, and if you use the search interface, it will have a link to people playing that game on the sidebar. Well, that's one of the things that I've been finding is that, like, I think I've gotten into a rut. A lot of the people I'm subscribed to, I don't really watch their content anymore. Some of it is that, like, I subscribe to them because they were part of a social community that I'm no longer part of. Some of it is their content has changed. Some of it is that I'm really looking for something, like, some of it is just people have gotten really big and they're not as fun to watch anymore. And so that's actually one of the reasons that so I was Aurora, who I was watching. It was kind of cool because we just got to hang out and I didn't have to, like, worry that I was gonna not fit in with a social group. And I feel like, when people show up in my stream, like, there's clearly a social norm here, right? Like, everyone's got little wrenches, like it is clear to a first passerby that they're walking into an established community, and I think that can be off-putting and difficult. And so there may be people here, like, in the chat right now, who would chat if my chat was empty, but will not chat if it's not. And I don't know. Maybe there's not. Maybe that's, like, silly. But in general, I mean, I think that we see that I've got, No, Mathros, Michu I like. So Splatoon 2 in particular was, or Michu was just Splatoon 2. Like, I was literally thinking earlier this morning, like, I should stream either Super Mario Odyssey or Splatoon 2, and I saw she was streaming Splatoon 2, and I was like, oh, cool. So I still pull up the gaming live page probably once a day or so, and I kind of browse through the list, and I'm like, okay, do I like these things? Miju has always been cool. She and I have always interacted really positively, and I've enjoyed her streams. I will admit that, like, there's a lot of people there, I feel like especially Splatoon and Super Mario Maker had the same effect for me. Like, it has this whole, like, play with me, 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 and Fortnite and other community games do some of the same stuff that I'm like, ugh, like, chill the out, I was checking out Creekcraft the other day, and Creekcraft had, he was doing, like sub-only Roblox stuff, and so people would sub and be like, add me, add me, add me, add me, and I was like, ugh, ugh. So that was actually why I stopped streaming Splatoon, was that I really loved playing the game, but I hated the fact that, like, I had all these kids who wanted to play, and then, like, some of them were, like, 10, so they couldn't add you as a friend, you had to add them, and, like, some of them, then they couldn't get into lobbies, and it was just, like, this nightmare of, like, trying to manage this entire community setup that I was like, ugh, I can't deal. And Super Mario Maker, same thing. I've seen that so many times that people just, like, Super Mario Maker just ends up being such a freaking chore because you're constantly dealing with play my course, play my course, play my course, and I didn't like the I don't like that aspect of it. So it's not gonna go. Yeah, well, and like I said, I've loved Mishu. I've watched a bunch of her stuff. Like, she's always someone that I'm happy to hang out and say hi to. And so, but I just don't, the reality is I don't look at my gaming live page as much as I used to. It used to be that I would just, like, always have a stream up. And part of this is that I'm no longer, like, as much working on YouTube. Like, that definitely plays a role. And even before I switched, I had kind of moved away from, like, the only way to tell whether live is broken is to have a live stream up all the time, because we built better real-time monitoring when I worked on the video quality team. So that we would know when buffering was going on, so. Alright, there's one. So I think the thing to do here is actually to try and get, like, 2 of the blocks stacked up. Because, well, not like that, ideally. Fuck. Because otherwise you have to actually have him go across and do the whole thing every time. But yeah, so I enjoy Splatoon, and that was why I tuned into that. But it's definitely the case that I look at a lot of these, and a lot of these, like, I subscribed to every channel that we ever rated. I had 507 subscriptions. Like, I have a lot of YouTube subscriptions, and a lot of them are like, I've seen your channel once or twice, and I basically subscribe to bookmark it, and not because I'm gonna watch your content every time. And I've been cleaning up some of those now that, like, YouTube Gaming and YouTube share a subscription base. I've been removing some of them because I'm like, well, like, I know that I haven't watched this in ages, and now they show up, like, in my sub feed and other stuff like that, that I'm like, don't really care. I'm probably never gonna watch this again. Like, it's fine. You got, like, I got a shout out, and you got to feel a little bit good when I subscribed out of a raid, and you know, subscriptions drift away. Like, if I look at my Twitter followers, like, my Twitter follower numbers have been drifting slowly downward for 6 months, because I haven't done anything to attract a lot of new ones since, like, last August. And so just, like, once every couple of days, like, I'll lose a Twitter follower. And it's not even like I'm posting things that are upsetting people. It's like on weeks I don't post anything, I will lose people. Because I have 1,900 people who follow me, and they're all got a million different things going on, and that's just the way it is, so. Fuck! Okay. It's time to save state hardcore, otherwise I'm never gonna finish this game tonight. One thing that's interesting on Twitter for me these days is that I feel like the change to algorithmic modeling has, they will merge them at some point, but yeah. Yeah, Leif, I'm pretty sure that's, like, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a bug in analytics. I think there is some sourcing that traffic sources for live streams are broken in some way, and so the live stream gets views as coming from itself. But I can't, like, because I don't have enough visibility into the underlying data, it's really hard for me to figure out how to file a good bug about it. It's been bugging me for 2.5 years now, so. Take care, Aurora! No need to feel sad. I look for, you're doing Legos tomorrow night, right? I'll try and tune in for that. Oh, but I've got Upgrade Gamers meeting tomorrow night. I may not be able to tune in for that, but I will if I'm around, so. And you should put your Twitch name again. People in my Discord already saw it, but for anyone who's not, you should put it again. There you go. So yeah, if you are interested in watching Lego stuff, tomorrow at 5, tune in, 5 Eastern time, you should tune in to Aurora Lee's Twitch channel. Okay, let's see. What does this do? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now I've got to continue and thing. Let's go to Egypt, which I know I haven't done at all. I have to figure out the secret of the pyramid to get the treasure of the Nile. There's an ancient tale told of a treasure called King Khufu's knife, but no one has ever laid eyes on it. Do I want to go there? Yes. Yeah, I found a couple of interesting channels via my suggestions or recommendations. I don't know that I have recently in particular because I don't know what I want, I think, is the problem there. But, oh no, god damn it. How's it going, Uncle Scrooge? Well, I couldn't get the thing. Yeah, I better be careful, I agree. Yeah, well, and so this is one of the problems that I have is that, like, it is definitely the case that there's a lot more good recommendations. Okay, no! God damn it. Something written on this wall. Let's see. 1 is 3, 3 is 2, 4 is 1, 2 is 4. 1 is 3, 3 is 2, 4 is 1, 2 is 4. Huh. Okay. Okay. 1 is 3, 3 is 2, 4 is 1, 2 is 4. 1 is 3, 3 is 2, 2 is 4. Oh, got it. It's a counted number of times you have to pogo on it. And it got me extra. Oh no, I bought extra life elsewhere. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the reality is that, like, are we any harder to find than someone who streams every night? Like, I think it's proportionally more difficult. If you stream for 8 hours a week or 20 hours a week, like, is it 4 times harder to find me? Is it, you know, I think, you know, like, I think it's probably 3 times harder to find me and not, like, 10 times harder to find me. I don't think there's any non-linear scaling in that. I could be wrong. But I think the reality is that I don't think that YouTube... I mean, the reality is that I don't think that YouTube is well optimized for finding content from small creators, and that is primarily what I am personally interested in as someone watching streams. I want someone who will notice when I'm around, and I want someone who is going to be friendly with me, and that is something that, like, you know, I was actually reading, like, DeFinch this weekend was... oh, the one who sees the light of the sun will find the way. This must be to how to get the treasure. Cool. And so, like, DeFinch was like, you know, am I the only one who, like, when you're visiting a small stream and you're the only one talking, you want them to pay attention to you? It's like, you know, this is the whole reason I'm here. Like, you should be paying attention to me. And I think that it's not dissimilar from how I feel. And obviously, in a bigger, you know, community, that's not practical. Like, it is difficult for people to see all the comments and respond to them. And, like, DeFinch is genuinely, like, happy and enjoys when she sees me in her streams, but I feel like, you know, a big chunk of the time... Huh. I think I need to pull this way. She just can't see my comments in chat. So... I found a hidden treasure. Cool. Yes, I am trying to exactly say, like, I'm an attention whore and everyone should say my name. That is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, there was drama. There's always drama. Alright, there we go. Well, you prefer riding under the radar, but you constantly tell me to comment on your behalf, so I don't know. Feel like there's a... You're making me do your social your emotional labor there. Yeah, that's not very under the radar. Like, I will be sitting there watching a stream and not saying anything, and you're like, "Oh, tell them I say a thing," and I'm like, "But that's not the status I'm in right now." Well, usually you can hear their response because whatever. This is a silly argument. I'm not actually upset about it, but... Okay, did I already go this way? I feel like I already went this way. No. I don't think there's anything else this way. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. So how do I find a small YouTuber? Yeah, so subs doesn't matter. Like, that's not a useful, so, okay, here's a bunch of things. First of all, as far as featuring people, one of the things that I wish that, you know, would happen is, like, I think that until you've ever had, say, 50 concurrents, I think that you will think of yourself as small. And so, like, I have at times had more than 50 concurrents, and I think that I have passed the threshold where, like, oh, I'm a small or new or something else like that. And so that's something that I would love to see, is YouTube find a way to explicitly highlight those much smaller creators who have never, you know, done a lot. So, I mean, yeah, it's only a tropical storm, Chris, sadly. Yeah, I think grades count. I mean, I think that, like, the reality is that for the most part, like, at the, I think that the point has to be a point where not enough people have seen you total to have a chance for you to attract your own moderate size viewership, right? So, like, at some point, you've had enough people come by your stream, and if people aren't coming back, then I don't think that it's that, like, oh, you're undiscovered. It's that you're, you know, not appealing to a broad audience. Which doesn't mean uninteresting, like, right? Like, I still think my content is interesting. I know that I'm obviously biased, but I think my content is interesting, but it's interesting to a specific type of audience that isn't going to be helped by showing it to all of the people. And so that's kind of how I look at it. So the thing that I said was, like, I don't want, like, I kind of want to make a distinction between the, and Jose described this, I think, in a good way, is like the people who are putting effort into their streams, and I don't remember the word he used. I used thoughtful, but he used a different word, which is probably even better. And I think that, like, trying to find people who are putting effort in and able to bring a small community is interesting to me. So my thing that I said is I want anyone who is been on the platform for less than 6 months, anyone who has less than, I think I said 10,000 subs, because I think subs are a weird measurement for people who maybe do VODs or maybe all these other things, and people who have had at least, was it at least 3 concurrents? I mean, basically, use the Twitch affiliate rules, right? So the Twitch affiliate rules are you must have at least 50 followers, you must have streamed for, like, at least 20 hours with an average of 3 concurrents or something like that. And I think that's actually a pretty decent number for, like, you have gotten somewhere. Yes. I can't buy anymore. Hello, Mikey. Oh, did something just happen? I wasn't looking at the stream. Okay, hold on. I'll pause this music, which is driving me crazy. Okay, I don't think I did Scotland yet, so. Okay, yeah, so I wrote up a doc about this, and I'm trying to remember what I said, but I think, like, you can think about it as, okay, Okay. Yeah, I did not do this yet. So use the affiliate rules as a lower bound. Actually, I think I said 1,000 subs. I think until you get 1,000 subs, I think that there's reason to think that the platform would help you. Oh yeah, it's 11 o'clock. So let's pause this because it's a good time. We just started the level, and yeah, as usual. Nope, I'm not wearing my glasses. I was gonna take off my glasses because it's time for your CPG rant of the evening. In software development, users always want options. But options are often, but not always, a bad solution to a problem. Just a sec. Now, options are bad for a whole bunch of reasons. Options are bad for user experience. The reality is that many times an option is just the wrong solution and instead the default should just be changed. Developers oftentimes make choices without knowledge about what users are going to do, and if you look at the situation and what users are telling you, maybe you shouldn't have an option, you should just change the default. And even if that's not the case, sometimes users have an idea about this, but the developer isn't informed, and if they tell the developer what they're actually looking for and the developer listens, then they can find a better solution that doesn't require an option
back to the beginning.
And doesn't have the same UI. In software development, users always want options. But options are often, but not always, a bad solution to a problem. Now, options are bad for a whole bunch of reasons. Options are bad for user experience. The reality is that many times an option is just the wrong solution and instead the default should just be changed. Developers oftentimes make choices without knowledge about what users are going to do, and if you look at the situation and what users are telling you, maybe you shouldn't have an option, you should just change the default. And even if that's not the case, sometimes users have an idea about this, but the developer isn't informed, and if they tell the developer what they're actually looking for and the developer listens, then they can find a better solution that doesn't require an option and doesn't have the same UX problem. In general, while you might think that people are more happy with products that have the options that they're looking for, the paradox of choice can actually make that untrue. More options make users sad because they can't do the simple things simply. In addition, the more options you have, the more difficult it is to find the right option. Have you ever tried to look through all of the options in iOS and figure out exactly where a setting is? I was trying to clear app data earlier today, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Have you ever looked through all of the Chrome experiment flags, or even the Chrome settings? Every complex options UI just becomes a search box and you hope that you find the thing you're looking for. And at some point, users just can't find the option they're looking for and they assume it's not even there. They just assume the product doesn't do what they want, at which point you're paying the cost of having an option without having any of the benefit. In reality, options are features and features are costly to develop. So while an option might seem like a single if statement, that single if statement, once it's converted to an option, has hundreds of lines of code. You have to have checkboxes for when it's on or when it's off. You have to have help and support and documentation. You need to train your support staff on these options. You need to add localization and documentation and all these other things. So if something is just a single line of code to flip something on or off, it can still take hundreds of lines of code to actually implement that as an option, where it might be very simple just to implement that as a feature. In addition, implementing the code may be a one-time cost, but maintaining these things is always going to be an ongoing cost. Every change has to be tested with an option, and when you have many options that interact, you can sometimes not need to test just 2 configurations, but 4 configurations or 8 configurations. Now, oftentimes options won't interact, and so you can test them individually, but it's very difficult to know that unless you have a very deep understanding of the code, whether you can test them individually, which makes it really hard to figure out, and your testing surface can quickly grow very large. In addition, you need to update the options as the UI changes. You know, sometimes I've gone back and looked at a change in the YouTube UI or something else like that, and found out that it's talking about a feature that hasn't existed for years. And in fact, this has caused a lot of confusion, and people say, well, why is this option here? And the answer is, oh, like, we got rid of support for that back in 2013, but the option is still there and does nothing. And what other features does this option interact with? For every feature you develop, you have to look at those options and interactions, and developers who are not building the option may not know about them months or years down the line, and may not realize the negative interaction they're creating. Reproducing a bug can become extremely difficult when you have hundreds of different options that you can choose from. or hundreds of different combinations of options you can choose from, and a bug only pops up in these rare circumstances, you might not know exactly what thing is being talked about or brought up that is causing you to have this state that is causing the user to get into a bad state. This is problematic with Chrome extensions and other similar cases where you have a lot of control over the surface, because you'll find that those Chrome extensions will make it very difficult for a developer to reproduce the problem. And in fact, test in an incognito window is one of the first things that web developers go to, leaving users who have taken advantage of that customizability out in the cold. And now with enough users, all of your options will be checked. You'll have every configuration of options known to man. If you have 12 checkboxes, you will have 4,096 different combinations of checkboxes that you have checked. But if only 73 users of your 1.5 billion have checked one of those boxes and it just breaks the app, the UI, you'll probably never know. Now, I know why users want options. Users want to solve a problem. When they're looking at something, they just want to be able to flip a switch and get it to what they do. And frankly, the user shouldn't have to be sophisticated in describing how a problem is solved. That's not their problem. And while it is certainly the case that like options can increase cost, that cost is almost entirely on the developer. So it's not surprising that users want options. But it's because the users can't make the trade-off on what an option is good or bad. They can't make the trade-off on anything else like that. And they shouldn't be expected to. What the users can maybe trade off, and maybe I can convince you of a little bit of this, is that options, because they're so much more expensive than features, have to be traded off against developing more features. By adding options, you slow down overall development. By adding options, you slow down the overall increase of the features that you want. You slow down the ability for developers to find and understand and fix your problems, and you make the overall product more complex, more difficult to use, and in general, worse. And if you do that, if you slow down the development, if you slow down the access, if you slow down all of these other things, and you do that continually, what you'll get eventually is a product that users can't use and that developers can't maintain or update, that falls apart. And that's not good. So while options are an appealing look for users trying to look at and find the ideal solution to their problem, while users can say, just do this, the reality is that they don't have the insight or the access or the information to determine whether that's the right solution. As developers, we should listen to those requests for options. We should listen to those requests for features that are not being met by our product. But as developers, it doesn't mean that necessarily options are the right solution. And it also means that as a user, the best thing for you to do is not just to describe how you want something done, but to describe what you want to do and why you want to do it and how the product doesn't meet your needs, so the developer can make the right decisions or for the product. Options are often, but not always, a bad solution to them. I'm Lucas, who plays games. This has been your CPG rant of the evening. This rant was based on a blog post written by Evan Martin. There's a link in the description below to the original blog post that I cribbed from. Thank you very much to Evan for writing this. This is a concept that I've seen brought up by a lot of users on YouTube over the years that I've been working here, that YouTube should just add an option. And it's something I've always tried to communicate, is that just adding an option is so much harder than it seems. And I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into how a software developer might look at the problem. Thanks very much. Alright, back to the game. Anybody still here? Did I scare you all off with my scary rant and my, taking forever to get it set up? I probably did. Oh well, so it goes. Thanks. Okay, let's unpause this game. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, although that one is less of an option and more of a, I don't know, something else. Oh gosh, should have taken advantage of my position up there. Nope, can't get up there. Yeah, I mean, I think that one's more of an example of, not every feature does what I want. And that sucks, but so it goes. Well, thankfully, like, this particular case, I was working very closely from the work that Evan did. I definitely wrote up my own script, but he was able to put all of the pieces together in a blog post that he wrote, and that's one of the reasons that I actually really like blog posts over Twitter threads, is that I tend to find them better laid out and thought through in a lot of cases, and they can really kind of help me understand my thoughts as well, which is nice. That's a perfect question, Stingray. You know what? I have a CPG rant about that. Oh. Oh yeah, and then Stingray, you were saying like you have a hard time with Twitter, and I tend to agree. I have a very hard time with Twitter. I find it interesting as a platform to consume on, but I find it very difficult to create what I feel like is a compelling experience. The numbers are so directly available, and I feel like constantly tempted to look at them and check them. I wish, I guess, this is probably possible with a Chrome extension, and I should probably just do this, but because Twitter, every time I load my own profile, like, shows, which is what I do just out of habit for whatever reason, I don't know, I just do. I'm constantly thinking about, like, oh, I haven't gotten more impressions this week, or whatever. I provide you a compelling Twitter experience? That seems like a weird description of anything that I do. I'm not gonna say you're wrong necessarily, but that just sounds weird. How do I do that, Jose? Okay. That makes more sense than it being real. Ugh! Oh, nice. I mean, I don't tweet much. I tweeted this morning. I mean, that's how I feel about my live streams, Stingray, so... It's just a format I don't get. I mean, I've been on Twitter since 2007, and I still don't get the format, so... Although I will say that Twitter today is very different than the Twitter of 2007. God damn it. That was not good. That was a bad approach. Oh, I don't want to go home. You probably just have me muted, Jose. Or blocked. Blocked seems more likely. Actually, no, you don't have me blocked. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to start this thing. Boom. And then I have to go over. Timeline 2.0, the worst timeline. Alright, Sorcerer Duck, let's go. Ow. I didn't mean for you to hit me. I definitely share things about current events, but I also realize this is a personal decision on how you interact with people and not like a strict categorization. Come on, baby. Nope. Money, 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 Stingray. Algorithmic timelines have proven very effective at getting people to engage with content. Pretty much all there is. Uncle Scrooge, it's terrible. Webby's been kidnapped. You have to rescue her. If you want Webby back, Scrooge, meet me at my ship. Oh yes, be sure to bring your treasures. Okay. We'll go ahead and upgrade my life. Yes. I already have a cake, and I can't afford an extra life, so... Okay. Now we're back on the pirate ship, and I guess it's gonna be different somehow this time. We'll have to see how. But yeah, so they went to an algorithmic focus of timeline because like it allows them to surface more interesting content and keep people engaged on the platform more. Engagement on the platform means that they'll actually I like that like a treasure chest appears in front of me and then oh, it's not gonna attack me? Okay, I guess I was supposed to like thinking I was going to save my niece or whatever. And then she actually just like unsurprisingly like took my treasures and then attacked me. Like in a move surprising no one. Like the evil person who kidnapped my child is not actually acting in good faith. Turns out that people who kidnap children don't tend to act in good faith. Shocking though this may be. Incredible! The D-1000 was defeated, but I'll have the last laugh. I'll sink the ship and all of the treasures on board. Hey, I saved the little girl. The treasures, they all sank into the sea. Aye, it's too bad we lost all of the treasures. But at least we've got each other. That doesn't sound like a thing that Scrooge McDuck would say. I suppose true friendship is all you really need for happiness. Don't worry, Uncle Scrooge. Your treasure's safe. Hey look, our treasure. It is safe. That's what you just said. I don't understand how it became safe, given that it was, like, in the hands of that weird duck lady. But what on earth was the secret treasure of McDuck? Love. Love was the secret treasure of McDuck. Or is this just a bad ending? Okay, this is just a bad ending because I didn't get the secret treasure by going and getting the 4 map pieces and going to the castle secret area. Okay. Well, that game's done. Time for another one. I'm the winged scourge that pecks at your nightmares. Yeah, well, so Darkwing Duck was the game I was going to play originally, and then I realized I'd never played DuckTales 2, and so then I thought that maybe I should play DuckTales 2, and, or rather, okay, here's the thought process. I looked at Darkwing Duck, and I was like, Darkwing Duck is going to be too slow, it's like too short of a game to do one stream. Like, what else should I play? Well, what else I should play is probably DuckTales. Like, that's another similar game from Capcom. They have a lot of similarities, like, I should do them. And then I realized that, like, I was, like, looking through, and I'm like, I feel like I know that I finished DuckTales 1, but I can't actually find it. And it feels kind of weird to play, like, Darkwing Duck and then DuckTales 2. So, I'll just play, like DuckTales 1 and then DuckTales 2, and if I get time, I'll go on to Darkwing Duck. And I will admit that I did not actually expect to be like this early in the evening and already on to Darkwing Duck. DuckTales 1 took less time than I expected. But that was the overall thought process. And what led me to Darkwing Duck was actually watching, what's his name? The Mexican Runner. The Mexican Runner is going to be doing a speed competition of Darkwing Duck soon, and so his runs on Saturday were practicing this game. So he can beat it in about 13 minutes. I will probably take closer to 2 hours, so. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the something's your nightmares. I am Darkwing Duck. I don't know how I can kill these guys. I also don't know if I have continues, so it'll be interesting to find out. I am the blank that blanks in your blank. That's right. Oh. So yeah, so this game was based on the same engine as Mega Man 5. So whether, like, which one was a copy of the other is, I guess, a discussed point. But these two games were done by the same... Oh, huh. Can I... Oops. It's probably gonna be my last life. I know. Okay. Yeah, so I only have 11 arrow gas. So the arrow gas is, like, my sub-weapon power. And then I have 0 lives left, so the next time I die, it'll be game over. Game over, man. Game over. Yeah, well, and I can't seem to hit them at all until they sneeze off their shells. At which point they're already pretty close to hitting me. So those little things there, that little, like, thing you see there, is a weapon pickup. Can I... Oh, I was hoping I could bounce off his head or something, but sure, we'll continue. But yeah, so this is just another game in the same vein. You know, Disney, or Disney, I think? Disney-themed, Disney licensed property. Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, they're all kind of the same cartoony era of the 1990s for me. So, I watched both of these cartoons as a kid, and I played DuckTales as a kid, but never DuckTales 2 or Darkwing Duck. There is actually like a modern remaster of DuckTales, which is really pretty looking. I have seen it, and I really like the look of it, but I've never played it. Maybe I should. Gotcha. Yeah, back before Disney, or back around the time that Disney hadn't really made the Disney Channel as much of a thing, I feel like. I'm gonna die. Oh, nope, I guess not. Oh, yep. Oh, that's life! God damn. Yeah, so there's some people who are just really good at Twitter. I'm not one of them. But then again, I don't actually look around and feel like, for the most part, I'm really good at any, like, creation platform, so what do I know? I definitely used to, like, my blog posts used to get more play back when blog posts were a thing. And that's a format that I enjoy. The reality is that I enjoy archive formats. I enjoy content that I can put up, even like brief momentary content that I can put up. I like it when I can come back to it like months or years later and find it. That's really what makes me happy. And so I was telling the story the other day about like finding my, like, figuring out how. I knew I went to an event in Troy, New York, years ago, and I did not remember what it was called. I knew it was like an open source event, but I did not know what it was called. And so I was like trying to figure out like what it was called, like what we had done, other stuff like that. And I went to Flickr, and I couldn't find it under any of the tags that I would expected to find it under. And so I was like, okay. So I went to Google Photos, and I pulled up, I like browsed through the albums of people photos that Google Photos automatically puts together. So it automatically like groups people, and then you can see them. And I was like, okay, this one is a sheesh. So now I just have to find like which date were these photos on. And I found out the photos were on a given date, and then I pulled up my Flickr archive from that date. And I was able to find out that like my Flickr archive from that date had an album, like those photos were in an album that was called Open Source Goes to Campus. And I was able to, from there, look up also my blog post that I made around the same time, which talked about it. And I was able to, you know, look up the code repository for the event that we had done, that we had checked, that Ashish and I had checked in, and all of this different stuff. And I really like that like strong archival format. And it's one of the reasons why I really kind of dislike the general approach towards timelines that are ephemeral and immediately disappear. It's one of the reasons that I really like find these platforms very important to me. Sorry, these platforms was not a clear. That I find the archival abilities of platforms very important to me, is because that's just the way that I think. I get a huge amount more out of feeling like, oh, later I'll be able to come back to this and really see this and feel like it's an artifact that I can come back to. And that's an aspect that I think is missing in modern social media platforms. It's one of the reasons that I don't like Instagram. It's one of the reasons that I don't like you know, Twitch. And it's one of the reasons that I do prefer the style of YouTube, is because when I put out a video link, I can expect that when you come back, that video link can still be there. Yep. And Twitter does have moments, which is like a built-in feature to allow you to collect tweets into like a collection. It's not that it's a bad feature, but it's very much not built in. I mean, I love LiveJournal. I mean, we did the LiveJournal stream at one point where I went and like read my old LiveJournal posts, and basically like I could just pull up a month and browse through, and then like see the posts on the days of that month. I'm gonna try a different stage. See if I can make a little bit more progress here. I am Darkwing Duck. Alright, little eggs. My assumption is that when speedrunning, that people just damage boost through these, but my skill does not allow me to do that. Damn. LiveJournal's still a thing. I wouldn't recommend using LiveJournal anymore at this point. I would recommend, if you wanted to use a platform like LiveJournal, I would use Dreamwidth instead. Dreamwidth is hosted and run by some of the early developers of LiveJournal. Or rather, developers is weird, but yeah, some of the people from LiveJournal run it, and it uses the LiveJournal codebase, but instead of being owned by the Russian mob, it's owned by people who are like not attempting to kill LGBT advocates and political dissidents in Russia. And so I generally am not the type of person to advise to use LiveJournal anymore as a result of their ownership by the Russian mob. And they're like, at one point, like a couple years ago, they moved the servers to Russia, and then like they disabled SSL on the login page, on all pages except the login page, which felt very much like, you know, a scummy move on their part. Alright. Give me some gas for my sub-weapon. Whew. Ow! I was doing well. Making progress, though. Making progress. Let's just keep going. Let's keep it going. Okay. But yeah, so the Russians bought it. I mean, LiveJournal, the word LiveJournal was effectively synonymous with the word blog in Russian. Like the word blog in Russian is like a shorthand form of the word LJ, or of the acronym LJ. So like blogging and LiveJournal, blogging in Russia was really synonymous with LiveJournal, and that made it a really attractive, because it's about sharing your personal life and sharing all these other things, that made it a really attractive platform for people to attempt to gain access to and control over this information, in the same way that Facebook has been in the US for, you know, organizations attempting to have political control. People just put even more detailed things about that. It was an advocacy platform. It was an activist platform, and so that made it really attractive to the Russian government. Now, of course, it was not like the Russian government itself which bought it. They bought it through an intermediary that everyone just happens to know is Kremlin controlled. So. Yep, Dreamless is just a blogging platform, just like LiveJournal was. It may have support for like hosting pictures or a couple other things. LiveJournal grew those features relatively later on, but I wouldn't use. I mean, personally, LiveJournal I think of as more of a personal blogging platform rather than a kind of more, I don't know, professional. In the more professional space, I would look to either WordPress.com or Medium. Are both the ones that I would think of as falling into that space. So when I set up a blog, and my personal blog is hosted on my website on WordPress, and then like setting something up on Medium or even Tumblr. I do have a Chris Plays Games Tumblr that I made early on in the history of the channel. But yeah, I mean, one of the key things that LiveJournal did really well, even early on, was the idea of friend groups, that not every piece of content that you wanted was content that you, like, would have out there. And so you could have up to 32 different groups of friends that could access any of your individual posts. And that was a pretty key feature. Hey, Dick Butt, how's it going? Happy to see you, my friend. Happy to see you. Ah! My controller didn't quite work there. I don't know why. That's stucky. Sticky. All right. I had a really lazy day at work, which is probably bad. I need to get in the habit of actually. So when I first started, I was really in the like every day I'm gonna commit something phase, and I've kind of fallen out of that as I ran into a couple harder problems, and it means that I've fallen into the trap of like, oh, I'm just going to read Twitter for like another 5 minutes, and you say that all day, and you get to the end of the day, and you're like, shit, all I've done today is read my email and read Twitter. So I need to get out of that habit at work. I am excited because I was able to do some cool stuff with a with voice detection, which I'm going to use for a stream coming up a week from Friday. I'm going to do a Choose Your Own Adventure stream where you'll be able to vote in the stream on which options from a Choose Your Own Adventure book there are, and I won't have to change pages or anything else like that. I'm just going to use voice control to control it. So I'm really excited about that. You can find links to a demo video in my Discord if you're interested. Yeah, so I'm really pretty cheerful about that, and yeah. I'd filed more bugs than days I had worked. In fact, when I transitioned away from YouTube to work for the open source software team, I was literally the day that I crossed over there, is that I had worked at Google for 1,360 days, and I'd filed 1,360 bugs, which is kind of a neat, like, transition point. Like, oh, like, I've worked here for 4 years, I have filed 1 bug per calendar day that I've worked here, and so now it's time to move on. Like, now I'm gonna do something different. But that was filing bugs, not necessarily fixing things. A lot of them did get fixed. Some of them are still open, even, you know, 4 years after I filed them. I did have one that got reassigned today because the people it was previously assigned to have left the company, so that one's not getting fixed anytime soon. But yeah, so if you are interested in Choose Your Own Adventure books or want to see a stream with Choose Your Own Adventure books, then a week from Friday is going to be the big event. Tune in, and you can offer your own voting and opinions. I'm also interested, I'm going to be playing a little bit and see if I can get, so there's still not automated caption support in all live stream, like ultra low latency live streams, and I want to see if I can basically do burned in captions by just embedding a browser window at the bottom of the screen and have it just do captions that way, now that I know this is pretty straightforward. And present that so that, like, people, like, yeah, it won't be perfect and they may not be very good by comparison or whatever else because it's not going to be a YouTube specifically trained model, but hopefully I can at least make something available so that if you're watching on mute or if you're hard of hearing, you can have access to some of my words. Alright, at least in this level I feel like I'm making progress, unlike in the previous level. Crap. Would be kind of nice if I could get, like, a life there? Nope, no life. And let's see, what else? Oh, I guess Trump announced his Supreme Court pick. It is someone who believes that the president cannot be indicted. It is someone who is against Roe v. Wade and supports the dissent in Roe v. Wade. It is someone who will, and there's something else too. Oh, and his opinion is that the Obamacare decision was wrongly decided. So those are great, I guess, if what you are is a revisionist, right-wing lunatic. So, cool. Take care, Stingray! Thanks for hanging out. So that's bad. Not too happy about his pick there. It might be that he's picked someone who is offensive enough that even, like, Collins or Murkowski will vote against him. It seems unlikely, but you never know. Not all hope is lost. Yeah, it turns out that a huge amount of power is just embedded into the administrative branch norms rather than any kind of law, and that's kind of shitty. I mean, people have been saying that for a while with Obama and the drone situation, but I think some of us underestimated how bad it was, myself included. Oh, god damn it. I was like trying to walk slowly. I'm like, I feel like there's gonna be something here, but I don't know what it's gonna be. And it's that goddamn guy. That guy. I don't know why sometimes I can make that jump and sometimes I can't. Oh, come on. You clipped my back toe. So one of the problems with this game is the general lack of checkpoints. Looks like they're pretty few and far between. Anyway, ignoring politics because it's a shit show and there's nothing I can do about it at the moment. Yeah, but so the checkpoint, the save state doesn't give me more health. That's the trick, right? So with a checkpoint, I come back and I have full health. That is not true with the save state. I did do the CPG rant. Yeah, I talked about why options are bad, and how they hurt development time. They slow down other feature development, and generally they're a bad solution for what the users actually want, which is just a better product. And how, as a user, the most useful thing to do is to describe what you're actually looking for and why you feel like something should be an option. And as a developer, you should really listen to that and do the right thing by the user, which sometimes is an option, but more often is probably not. Ah, my controller is giving me crap. All right. Deep breaths. Fuck! Alright, now we're gonna try and cheat our way to glory, because I'm getting tired of not completing any levels here. I did start listening to a couple new podcasts this weekend. One of them is called Zigzag. Zigzag is a podcast from a couple of women who have been running shows for WNYC, one of the more well-known public radio stations in the country, for the past 10 years. And they decided to go ahead and start their own startup. And they wanted to do their own podcast. They wanted to do something that they totally owned and that, you know, they could really kind of look at and feel proud of. And in an era where, you know, technology, journalism, and a lot of other concepts are coming together at the moment, they felt they had unique information that they could offer the world on how all these things fit together in their mind. And so they are sharing that on their podcast Zigzag, which at the moment has been kind of an evaluation of how their process has gotten started. So it's interesting to kind of look at how to do a startup while they're still doing the startup, you know, all of the mistakes. And in listening to that, it was actually someone said to them, like, you're making all the same mistakes as the startup podcast did. You should really listen to it. And so they actually talked to the folks from Gimlet Media who do Reply All and who I've heard of before about their experience. And it turns out that something I didn't know is that Gimlet actually did a podcast similarly about their entire experience in starting up a startup and all of the things that they screwed up in trying to run a media startup and get funding for it and all of the other things that go along with that. So then I started listening to the startup podcast, and it's been definitely very eye-opening. You know, lots of things that I've worked on the other side of the startup fence where I'm like in established tech companies for a long time, but I hadn't really ever been on the startup side of it. So this has been an interesting thing to listen to. Some of the founders and technologists who come in and give them advice and what they say and so on and so forth. As well as some moments of like, oh my god, you two are so bad at this. Like, how is it that you're trying to start a company and you don't know like how to pitch an investor? How is that where we are? But of course, if you've worked in public radio your entire life, like, why would you know how to pitch an investor? On the other hand, I do feel like if you're going to have someone who you know is relatively well known and they are meeting you for coffee, you maybe have at least a responsibility to figure out like what the hell they do. But, you know, that's a personal opinion. It may not be shared by everybody. Fuck. But yeah, so it's been really interesting to listen to the, like, both the startup podcast, which was done at this point 4 years ago, and the Zigzag podcast, which is being done now. Zigzag, they started their thing when they were expecting a pretty major... Oh, nice. Okay. So now I got 54 gas, which is good. Got 3 extra lives, which is good. Yeah, I'm not exactly surprised that those prolific YouTube sponsors are in trouble. I'm not actually sure that, like, none of those giving away shit for free once people hear about it on a podcast or on a YouTube channel or whatever else like that has always felt like it's a thing that only succeeds because you're living on borrowed time. And unless you can figure out how to do something useful with that borrowed time, you're gonna be out of luck, so not exactly surprised. Like Blue Apron, same way. I'm not convinced that they actually come out ahead on the combination of the sponsorships and the free deals. I'm sure that they've done the math and they know what it is, but it's not clear to me that they're not still just attempting to do growth hacking or whatever. I mean, running the box itself has got to be not free, right? So... Oh, come on. Yeah, well, I think that a lot of that is, like, the FCC guidelines in this area are not super clear. So people have a lot of different opinions on what that actually means. Like, what should the disclosure requirements be? What is the expectation? Like, if you just get free stuff, are you expected to disclose if you're explicitly paid for it, whatever, so. Yeah, but you develop a digital asset, Leif. I mean, Nature Box was a physical product, right? Well, I think we're talking about 60 million there, AWOL. Welcome to the stream. Ah! Fuck. Fuck that. Gotcha. 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 I doubt that, Leif. Oh god! I don't know what the fuck that clippiness was, but... Fuck. Ah! Alright. Deep breaths. Think hard. Don't fuck up. Fuck! Got him. I think it's a single-digit million decision, but I could be wrong. Rather than single-digit dollars. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I think if you made a $7 decision... Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, if you're a 10-person company, like, and living in the Bay Area, my expectation would be that, you know, each person for the company is going to cost at least, well, you're talking at least $100,000 to $150,000, like, not just because of salary, but basically, like, if you've got a $75,000 salary, that person's costing the company, you know, $150,000 to $200,000 in total carrying costs by the time you're done with health insurance and stuff like that. Unless you're all contractors, in which case maybe that equation changes. I don't know as well then. And so if you got 10 people, and they've been there for a year, then you're talking about, you know, minimum $3 to $5 million in wages alone. Well, wait, the benefits alone. I assume that you've got, although you do have all of your art stuff is in-house, right? So I guess maybe there aren't a lot of other costs that I could think of the distribution itself. So. Is this a work decision, AWOL? Or a personal decision? Gotcha. Deep breaths. Yeah, so it's interesting to me to listen to the history of kind of like someone starting a business and trying to talk about it like while it was going on, talking about the process, talking about what they knew and didn't know, you know, having recorded a lot of it, recording investor meetings and their thought processes between the founders and talking about meetings about splitting stock and what that looked like, has been, you know, it was really interesting to listen to. I've never had to deal with any of that because I've never really done startup stuff. While technically I was working at like a late stage startup at Metacarta, calling that a startup at the point where I joined it was probably pretty unreasonable. It already had 50 people. It already existed for like 7 years. It was just a startup that hadn't paid. It was a company that hadn't paid back its investors yet, and then didn't end up paying them all back in the first place anyway because, you know, they got bought for less than they were worth. I don't know how I am supposed to get through this part. Not like that. But yeah, so Startup is the podcast. The first season was just their own, it was kind of meta. It was their own process of starting their podcast startup. And then the later seasons, they've just been talking to other like podcast, or not podcast, other businesses, other startups about how their process worked. So the one that they're on now is a season about church planting, which is basically about people who grow churches in startup-like ways. They're looking for investment from mega churches, and they're doing all this other stuff. All right. Oh, come on. Really? I do not own a water cooler. I don't think. But I do own one defeated level. Oh yeah, I mean that's certainly true, but these are not people attempting to scam. These are people who are actually like, you know, or take advantage of tax law or anything else like that. They're just people who actually want to like help the community. So one of the ones that he talked to is someone who wanted to start a black church in Jersey or something like that. And so he found, you know, he was going out and being in the community. He was connecting to the community. He was talking to people, and initially their goal was to just like not worry so much about the church aspect of it, the building and so on and so forth, but instead to really be the community church, to go out in the community, to find homes in the community. One of the problems with that is that they found that it was actually really hard to get people to attend if they weren't in some kind of building. So when they first started it, they were trying to do it in basically like his living room, and he was just doing like a Bible study in his living room, and he had a lot of people who were like, "You're just a cult." It's like, no, like I'm out here trying to reach out and connect to the people, like a whole bunch of people who've been screwed and might not, you know, have as much love for Jesus as they maybe want, and we want to come out there and help them. You know, he wanted to get into that, so. Yes, the church of our blessed church of oh, what was it even called? I don't remember. But yes, John Oliver's demonstrations are indeed quite good. Having a bunch of lawyers who can help you out do some of these silly things is definitely helpful. Makes for interesting TV. Universal Life Church Reverend AWOL, or are you more official than that? So I have a cooler, Jose, but that's not a water cooler. A water cooler is like if you go to the doctor's office and they have the machine with the big 5-gallon jugs of water on it, that has like a cold and a hot spigot or whatever. That's a water cooler. So realizing that I don't have to hold down in order to grab onto things is definitely made movement a little bit easier than it was a little bit ago. So good job for me to figuring that out. Would have been nice if I'd figured it out a lot earlier, but what can you do? Don't want that. Well, others have stronger, stricter requirements to become a reverend. That's all. Also, I actually think that other churches are more legitimate. I think that the Unitarian Church is a perfectly legitimate organization. Alright. So whenever I am on the same level as this person, they move. Makes it really hard to shoot them. They pause for a second before they move, so that's really my window. Nope, can't kill the guy on top. He's just up there. All the time. Causing me trouble. Ah. I didn't say all churches were legitimate. I just said that they can't, like, Unitarians are not prosperity ministers. In general, I consider prosperity prosperity gospel ministers to be 100% scam lords. There is no level to which that is acceptable at all. And the fact that it's legal is nuts. And the fact that people believe it is almost more nuts, except I know how dumb people are, so. Yes! Hat spin! Yeah, I mean, the spikes I think don't hurt you if you jump into them, but they also, you can't get past them, so. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. Oh yeah, so planting churches, this guy was like, his goal was not to make money, it was not to get rich, it was not to, you know, take advantage of others, it was not to, like, preach the prosperity gospel and make himself rich in the process. Like, his goal was legitimately to, you know, find ways to help people connect to God and improve their lives. And he was going out into the African-American community and trying to build a church for them in a place where there wasn't such a church. And he's an evangelical, but not the traditional evangelical Christians. This is the thing I hadn't actually realized. Oh, I was not saying no, I was not saying Universal Life Church is Unitarian. I was comparing the Unitarian Church as a church which is a little bit more official and also, like, more official than the Universal Life Church and more structured is really what it comes down to. So the Unitarians are strong believers in, you know, the principles of Unitarianism are of, like, was it Universal, United, God, words. Anyway, the principles that you use are very much the principles that, like, I tend to live my life by anyway. They're, you know, principles of in general, of peace, of attempting to, you know, achieve harmony and work with other people and other things like that. So there's like 7 life principles that the Unitarians aspire to and attempt to, you know, bring other people to and provide as a home for people, but they have no specific belief requirement. And so there are Unitarian services, Unitarian Universalists. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. So our particular Unitarian church is done very much in the Episcopal style. So it literally, like, was an Episcopal church before it was a Unitarian church. That's what I thought. Okay. I don't know what the heck I was supposed to do with this guy. No idea how to get past those without getting hurt. Teo Raid, hello, Quinn, King, Terrified Rhino, Brian Chimichanga, and others. How's it going, Teo? Good to see you. I'm just playing some Darkwing Duck. This is our 3rd Duck game of the night. We've already played through DuckTales 1 and 2, and are now on to Darkwing Duck, where I'm having a lot of trouble getting past these turtles. But we have done so for that, and we'll just hop up on here. And we're talking a little bit about my, you know, life and church experiences. So I was raised, naturally, in the Catholic tradition. My parents were Catholics and raised me as a Catholic. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss a save here. Yeah, so the problem with DuckTales was that I finished it in like 40 minutes. So I had to move on to another game. And then I beat DuckTales 2, and now we're on to this one. So what the heck am I supposed to do with you, guy? Okay, that was not it. I was supposed to shoot you when you're... Nope. Facing away from me? No. Am I supposed to be able to jump over him? Oh, there's always more games. I haven't even touched a significant portion of the Nintendo library at this point, so there may not be many good games left, but there's still games. What the friggity frick? I cannot figure out what the heck I was supposed to do here. They don't appear to be damaging him. Arrow does the same thing where it goes right through him. Yeah, so it's relatively late in the NES cycle. So this was, I think, 93. It came out around the same time as Mega Man 5. It was based on the Mega Man 5 engine. And as far as I can tell, did not have a lot of attention, so... God damn it! Urgh! Okay. No more CPG Lounge. Although I am still gonna try and rebuild it. I just haven't yet. This weekend I spent the weekend this weekend trying to learn how to do alright, what do I got here? 5 lives. Alright. Die. Oh no, well you knew. We talked about it on Friday. You were like, let's launch something, and I was like, we can't launch things anymore. Oops. Where did it go? Let's do this, die. Toss a save. We're in slot 1. Oh. I was hopeful that my magic cape would protect me from the turtle, but it did not. Yeah, no, so the lounge, I do plan to rebuild the lounge on my own website. But this weekend, rather than working on that, instead what I worked on was voice commands for Choose Your Own Adventure books. So a week from Friday, I'll be streaming Choose Your Own Adventure books on the channel, and I will be doing the page turning and showing and voting all with my voice. I've built a tool that allows me to just say, like, vote 5, and it will, like, show the voting options for page 5 in the YouTube chat. People can vote, and then it will tell me who won after 15 seconds. So it's going to be an awesome thing. I'm very much looking forward to it. And it will be cool. Okay. Oh! Fuck. I'm an idiot. You want in on what? But yeah, and then beyond that, the lounge was a feature that I was previously testing for YouTube Gaming that unfortunately did not end up becoming a full feature. I was just testing the beta and it got killed, of watching videos with other people. It is now a beta on iOS for doing it with just small groups of people, and I think that's going to be cool, but I am a little bit sad that the feature I was testing did not make it out of testing, because I thought it was also a cool feature. And this level sucks a lot. everything about, like, I don't know what the frick I'm supposed to do with any of these things. Gotcha. Yeah, well, so it'll be audience influence because it's not going to be me who's picking the options that that are selected by the book. So when the book says like turn to page 5, then I'll say like vote page 5. The audience will have 15 seconds to vote, and then I'll do whatever people vote for. So that's my hope, is that we can get enough people hanging out a week from Friday that we can have a good time with Choose Your Own Adventure books. We'll see. Maybe it won't work. It might be completely silly and pointless, but my hope is that it'll be good. Alright. You're dead. Oh! Ugh. Cool. Well, be here a week from Friday. Don't go out and meet any other people who are going to ask you to help you buy a bunt pan or anything, and it'll be there. Ugh! Fuck! I hate this. This sucks. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. These guys don't die. The turtles are super hard to kill. You're not having bad deja vu. I just can't do anything in these levels. So you're seeing the same thing over and over. Fuck! But yeah, so far I have I've converted 2 Choose Your Own Adventure books. My goal before the stream is to convert 5. So that we have 5 different stories to go through at least a couple times. Computer enhanced Choose Your Own Adventure books. This is not a thing I'm aware of, so it's very hard for me to answer this question. Gotcha. Another thing that I thought about doing is that this morning Stingray actually pointed out a set of Choose Your Own Adventure game books that were significantly more involved. And I thought that that was interesting because they would actually kind of work well as a like a Twitch plays Pokemon style, like a YouTube plays Choose Your Own Adventure, like Lone Wolf stream. That would be a lot more work. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Like this, I'm intentionally not automating some of the page turning stuff in the version that I'm going to do, and instead we'll just be handling that myself. It's cool that I can do it all with my voice. I'm really actually very pleased with how well it came out for how little code I actually had to write. I wrote about 50, 100 lines of Python. I wrote about 25 lines of JavaScript, and like a little small like wrapper to put some stuff together. And then beyond that, I just took a bunch of images out of a PDF I stole and downloaded. And I'm pretty happy with how that's all come together. So if you're interested, you can check out my Discord in the software channel. If you scroll up about like a page or so, there's a video I uploaded that you can see of demoing the functionality of the Choose Your Own Adventure books using voice control. I want to get past here without taking 2 damage. Just want to have 1. That's 2. Okay. Fuck. Not like a double jump or something, is there? God damn it. Yes, voice recognition cannot handle 2 languages intermixed. That is correct. I agree. Shooting them was doing no good. These guys don't die when you shoot them. They just bounce. And they, even when they're like in bounce form, they don't, like they'll still damage you. So it offers me no value to shoot them. It took me a while to figure that out, but now that I have, makes no purpose. The turtles I can shoot, but it's not effective because I don't... The problem with the turtles is that I have not figured out how to, like... I can only shoot them when their shell is off, and shooting them when their shell is off is, like, hard. They're too quick. And I've got to have them, like, throw their shell at me in one direction. Or I can jump over it and then jump over them, and it's a shit show. Fuck. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright, so you, turtle, are gonna throw your shell. And then you're gonna throw it again. Then you're gonna throw it again. But yes, if you are interested at all in the Choose Your Own Adventure thing, I think it will be more interesting if there are more people here. So the more friends you can bring, the better. It'll be, again, a week from Friday is the date to keep in mind. All right. Oh, God. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. Oh. Oh yeah, so that reminds me of one of the interesting stories. So I was doing page recognition, right? And so the 2 commands that I'm talking about supporting, my controller cable is just so flaky at this point. Ugh. Hold on, sorry about that. And so, like, one of the commands is go to page number, and the other command is vote page number. So just 2 simple commands. Like, it doesn't support a lot, and you know, I have to kind of pause if I'm like my intent is I'm gonna read the story and then I'm gonna pause and then say those things so that it switches to the right page and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, like go to page 2 works, that's fine. And I'm like, go to page 73, go to page 27, like all this was fine. The first thing that was bad was I said like go to page 1. And so like I hard coded and it didn't work because for 1, rather than putting the transcription as the number, it puts it as the word. So O-N-E rather than the number 1. And I was like, well, this is crappy. So I just hard coded 1 because that was the only one I had run into. And then I like actually read through a book and I was like, okay, this is working. And then at some point it was like, go to page 6. And page 6 is a publication. It's like a tabloid. And so when Google's like voice recognition stuff transcribes it, it transcribes it as the word 6. So then I went ahead, now that I had the problem twice, as always, the first time you just hack it, the second time you actually try and do something about it, and so I actually went ahead and tried to figure out a fix, and I found a like JavaScript library which just converts any word number to actual number. But I was amused that like I'm caught because there's a tabloid that is called page 6 with transcription transcribing it as a proper noun rather than the number that it does for every other number. Just an interesting thing to think about as you're looking at like transcription software and what types of mistakes it would make and why. I thought that was kind of cute. Oh god. This game sucks. I'm happy that I have save states. I'm happy that I have very easy to access multiple save states. Absent that, this game would be probably very, very shitty and unfun to play. So its late stage participation in the NES was, if you missed this game, you were not missing much. I'll just say that. There you go. Okay. Yeah, it's just rough. Alright. Let's go to this tower then. Yes, you are Darkwing Duck, I know. Alright, Robo-Dogs. Take care, AWOL. Have a good one. And no worries. Alright, let's pick up some gas to power up my arrow weapon. Go ahead and hop up here. Make our way across. I will say they are generous with the 1-ups, but they'd have to be because this game would be otherwise completely unplayable. At least these guys are pretty simple. They're not like invincible for most of their time. Ah! Okay, there's gotta be a trick to these fucking enemies. This can't just be, like... Yellow, round, enemies, Darkwing, duck, how, kill. You have to shoot his head. Okay. Damn it. Okay, it's fine. Now that I figured out how to kill these yellow things, it definitely is a lot easier. Let's go. Oh yeah, so one other thing that I had had to do this weekend in order to do my playing with the speech recognition API was to I had to upgrade to SSL. So the Web Speech API is one of those APIs that in order to convince developers to upgrade to SSL, modern web standards have been changing their configuration such that browsers won't actually run these experimental and new web APIs unless you're on an SSL-enabled domain. So I went ahead and did that. Of course, it's going to be pretty soon that Chrome is going to start is going to start reporting anything that isn't SSL as insecure anyway, so It's probably good that I switched to SSL this weekend, but I've been putting it off for a while and finally did it. There was some annoyance with the fact that my Apache configs in some cases have a bunch of like stuff that really doesn't need to be there. What? Oh, are you serious? I wanted to go down and get the extra like life and shit, and apparently that, even though there's a platform below there, didn't do that. God damn it. Alright, let's get into save stating. I should have known. I don't know. I don't think I should have known that, but it doesn't surprise me because this game sucks. Alright, let's get through here without dying. I'm gonna take deep breaths. We're gonna kill these yellow things without taking a hit. There we go. So how am I supposed to get in there? I just can't? Oh, like that apparently. Okay. There we go. There we go. Used up a lot of my arrow gas, but I passed it. I'm just realizing that I never really talked about what I thought small streamers should get. So overall, my feeling is that for some people, myself included, there's a desire to find small content creators to sit back and enjoy. I think that there is an opportunity that needs to be provided to these streamers for people to run into them the first time. I think that there's not enough opportunities of that type on YouTube, and this isn't actually in particular to streamers. I think it also applies to VOD uploaders, is that, you know, YouTube as a platform is kind of good at showing, what do I got here? I'm gonna save. Oops. YouTube as a platform is really good at showing the things that are already doing well, but can be kind of bad at surfacing the things that don't do well. Now, I think that if you were to force, and so like what I think about this is like as and in search, in map search, right? So in map search, when I worked at Nokia, basically the search problem is kind of broken up into two components. One is candidate generation and one is ranking. And I think that YouTube is actually pretty good at ranking, but one of the problems is that it has a tendency to pick candidate sets that are overly focused on large content. And I think that that ends up being a problem. And the problem with it is that while the ranking would work perfectly fine if you pulled up a different set, it isn't going to help you if, like, you're ranking the best things, where best is like likely to gain the most watch time. There's a lot more data that suggests a big stream or a big VOD creator or a big whatever else like that is going to hold someone's attention for longer. You have all the data on that. And so, like, it's not surprising that smaller content doesn't make it into the recommendations algorithms. But I don't actually think that the problem is just necessarily one of ranking. I think it's really just that, you know, it's always focused on the stuff that's going to be most successful. And if we were able to change that, I think that it could be a good thing. God damn it. I think it could be a good thing. And so my suggestion was something along the lines of pick some definition of small. You know, has only existed for 6 months, has less than 1,000 subs, has never crossed more than 100 concurrents, something like that. And once you've done all those things, then call them small. Damn. I don't know where the hitboxes are on those genies. Might be the lamps. And then use ranking and figure out, like, if I put a shelf of these small creators here, does it meet the ranking thresholds that YouTube is using? And maybe the answer is yes, and maybe the answer is no, that there's just not enough data on these small content creators to really allow them to be ranked properly, in which case things get harder. But my feeling has always been, like, it's not that that ranking doesn't work when something ends up in the list. I feel like that actually works pretty well, but rather that the set of things in the list is too constrained. Yeah, and the stuff that's already successful it becomes more successful is a problem. Has always been a problem. Like that's not unique to YouTube. It's not anything like that. It's just a fact of life. But where we could do something about it, we should. That's all. The reality is that for the most part, people do want the stuff that's already successful. It's not, the problem there is humans, not software. Yeah, I think that the lamp is also a hitbox item. Oh, I can't hang on the bottom of that apparently. Shows what I know. Yep. Fuck. Ah! I didn't know where to go. Alrighty. Well, I think you've actually done a really good job, Leif. I think you've done, I mean, part of it is that, like, all of us have a tendency to overanalyze, thinking that somehow we can find a trick. But I think you've actually done really well by maximizing on a market of content that you really are engaged in. You've done well to combine, like, VOD content with live content. You've done well to create compelling thumbnails. You've done well to stick to a specific time and to engage repeat viewership by having a narrative stream that people really want to come back and see the end of. I think all of those choices were deliberate, and I think you've done a really good job with them. So I think that, you know, it's like, while it is the case that you are dominant in a niche market, being dominant in a niche market was not an accident. It was a very deliberate decision, and I think you've done well to carry that forward and make progress with it, even in a case where other people would not have probably seen as much success. Fuck. I want to go up. Haha! Yes! Yeah, and I think that things like that, like tying in the events from your stream, the number things that you put above your head, like you've actually done a really good job presenting a motif and that's collected into that, and been able to achieve a moderate level of success by doing that. So yes, I want to go there. Let's go. I think this is the last like overworld level, so. Okay, I definitely need to get a new USB cable before my next stream. Oh, seriously? These things don't die just from one arrow? Fine. Ah, ha, ha. I mean, Mike, you produced the right amount of content. You produced one video that's gotten, you know, 100,000, 700,000 views, so... But yeah, no, I mean, the first rule of any content stuff is just keep making content. You can't win if you don't play. It's just like the lotto. Of course, if you're playing the lotto, you also can't win if you do play, so it's fine. Fuck you, bird. And another thing that I should mention, Leif, is that I think that part of what makes your Steins Gate stuff special is really just that you, like I said, you are so deeply into that content that you are almost infectious. Like, I don't even care about, like, anime stuff, and I've considered watching it because you're so excited about it. And I think that that's a difference between, like, Steins Gate and other things you've streamed. Like, I watched you playing Fallout, and it's not that you didn't enjoy Fallout as a game, it's just that you didn't have that love for it, that passion for it, that I think really carries forward and allows you to succeed in a way that other people can't. And I know that you've been, like, just constantly thinking about how to do better, how to like, what you can do to tie in with X, Y, or Z, and I think that's just visible. Oh no! Oh, fuck. Wanted that life. Oh well. Yep. And anime stuff has been your passion for a long time. It's not like that's new. Alright. like this specific project or show or whatever may not be what you've been particularly interested in for a long time, but overall this is definitely something you've got a lot of passion about, and it's going to show. That is true. No, I mean, it's good to have loves, right? Like, I absolutely love Unravel. I've talked about it a million times. I you know, routinely quote it as one of my favorite games. It's great. Yes. Okay. All right. We've located the hideout of Steel Break. Let's go. Let's get dangerous. Go on, Darkwing Duck. Anyway, hello, Mikey the Gamer. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Hope you had a decent Monday. We are on our third duck-related game of the evening. We've already beaten our way through DuckTales 1 and 2, and it looks like there's a good chance we will actually finish this one as well, which is kind of cool. I mean, like, that is definitely a component of what makes it harder for me to look around and say, like, what should I be spending my time creating content in. Like, I come back from VidCon and I have a million ideas of what I want to do, but the reality is that none of them I look at and I'm like, oh, this is everything I care about. Like, this is something that I will just spend hundreds of hours on. They're all like, oh, I care about this enough to spend an hour on it. And I think we've talked about, like, the past few weeks in here and in my Discord and other stuff like that, that if you're not willing to spend 100 hours on it, or really I say 100 times the number, like the length of the content, then it's hard to imagine it fitting in with being some of the best content out there. If you look at, like, Ahoy does these like really long form documentary things on YouTube, and like the Secret of Monkey Island video that he did, like, he was working on that like 2 hours a day for like 3 months. Why? Ugh. Stupid controller cable. It is not the source of most of my fuck-ups, but it is a source of enough of them right now that is definitely getting frustrating. And I was even gonna swap cables before the stream started, and I didn't. Should have. I don't know if you could, or you might be able to find a way, but it's definitely not as straightforward as anime or, you know, teaching space science or other things like that. Let's see if I can hit those guys in the head even when their cloaks are out. No. But I can sit right here and take him out. Excellent. Okay. Well, so I think that one of the things that you might want to show, so I'll go back to the example of Diesel Doocy. So Diesel, this is maybe not, I mean, it's not directly related to your experience, but maybe it give you a sense of what I'm thinking. So Diesel Doocy is a channel that started out doing like explorations of elevators. Like, he was, you know, just a guy, and he would just do these very matter-of-fact and straightforward descriptions of elevators. Like, he would walk in, he would describe the buttons, you know, he would read off the dates and the, you know, other things like that. And he, like, just started uploading them to YouTube. And he was really surprised because other people were responding to them. And he's like, oh, like, I guess maybe there are other people who are as interested in elevators as I am. And was kind of surprised by that. And it turns out that this guy's particular style of describing things ends up being, so he's autistic, and his particular style of engaging with the world is one that also is like other kids who are autistic also really enjoy his content. They really respond to it, and like, he didn't know that when he got into it. He didn't realize that, and so he realized that, like, initially he thought he was making, you know, an elevator lovers outreach group or something like that. And what he found was that no, that wasn't what he was doing. Instead, what he was doing was accidentally creating, like, an autism outreach network, because these kids who had no other things, they couldn't engage with things on normal TV, they couldn't engage with other things on YouTube, as they could engage with these elevator descriptions from Diesel Ducey. And so, like, it can be the case that people can find outlets in certain types of content in specific ways, and so as a form of potentially helping other people, I can imagine some forms of video creation that might, you know, like, it's good for you, and then when other people see it, it can be good for them too. So I think, like, Katie Morton or Ask a Mortician or Braincraft, these people are all out there, and they're not, like, they're creating educational or, you know, specific types of educational content. They're trying to create a form of engagement with the world, which is different from what people would expect. You know, generally you wouldn't expect that people would follow a YouTube channel of a mortician, but, you know, she says that a lot of people are like, you know, my kid who is just like just reacts so well to your content that, you know, this is something that gives them a lot of love, because you're willing to talk about death in a way that their, you know, friends and family and other stuff like that are not. So now, can I turn that into the thing that you're interested in and figure out how to turn that into something useful? No, I can't. Like, I don't have a good idea on how that could happen, but you know, Katie Morton, who is a therapist and just wants to help people do therapy, you know, started making YouTube videos to answer some of the common questions she got, and suddenly is now, you know, doing effective advocacy, mental health advocacy, is one of the primary people doing mental health advocacy on YouTube, as a result of her, you know, success in this area. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here and grab this gas. Yeah, exactly, Mike. And that's the thing that I haven't done much with this channel, because I don't think that I have some of the kind of nature of, like, the nature of my content doesn't make itself really amenable to that. But you certainly got the right idea. Oh no! I should have... Oh. God damn it. Yeah, and maybe, I mean, the answer is not, like, the answer to every question is not make a YouTube channel about it, right? Like, the answer to everything is never, like, is not, there's not one answer for everything. It may be that some types of content are helpful, and so, like, I'm trying to think of one of the examples from someone who is an LGBT creator, as you said, like, you know, one of the things he'd heard was that in some cases people felt like able to connect to his content even though they didn't tell anybody about it, or they didn't comment, or they didn't participate, but they felt like they weren't alone. And by having someone be there they were able to, you know, absent any kind of direct interaction or anything else like that, we're still able to engage and gain benefit from it. And I think maybe Shane Dawson said this, somebody, I don't know, somebody like that. And so, you know, there's people out there who have been able to act as a resource, even in ways that are quiet and behind the scenes. And again, like, this does not mean that, like, every single person out there is going to find a way to engage on YouTube and create a beautiful, lovely experience or whatever. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm only trying to look at some of the other things I've seen, and how they might be non-traditional ways to express what is a desire to help people or to engage and create a better experience for people. That's all. And some people look at stuff and say, like, I don't want to, actually, I'm gonna die on purpose, I think. Yep. Get up there. Hello, Super Fox 5. Oh gosh, darn it. This is the final boss, yes. Yep. This game is definitely the hardest of the... So I've played 3 games tonight. I've played through DuckTales 1, which took me about 45 minutes and presented no significant difficulties. I think I did end up using a save state once just because I was sloppy and didn't conserve my health well. I played through DuckTales 2, which definitely was harder, and I had to look up a map for a couple of stages. And then I played this game, which has been just an absolute nightmare of save states. It's been extremely difficult, and the broken USB cable on my controller is not making it better, and it's just been a nightmare experience. So I'm looking forward to finishing this up. My stream typically ends at 1:15 rather, so we are coming up on what would normally be the end of my stream, and I'm hopeful that I can finish it in that time just so I can call this done. And I'm hopeful there isn't another boss after this, because if so, I might just have to quit. So. Yeah, so I didn't play through any of them on the hardest difficulty. I considered it for DuckTales just because it is so short, but I decided against it. I don't understand how I'm supposed to... I don't understand how I get up there, frankly. I know I've done it a couple times. There we go. Okay, I had forgotten that, like, on these hooks, there's actually multiple attach points. So even though you're attached to the hook, you're not necessarily attached in the same place. Which is something I had forgotten. Boom. Hooah! And that is it, my friends, as far as I know. The next time I meet, I shall be victorious. I've freed the city from Foul's grip of terror. I've earned the gratitude of the entire city forever. Whew. Oh my god. Alright, that was definitely a slog. I am the terror that flaps in the night. Yeah, so overall, what an exhausting day. Anyway, thank you all for being here. We had a bunch of people here earlier at the start of the stream, Mr. Mulligan and oh jeez, all these people that I've forgotten at this point. Ms. Mikey L the Gamer, Leif, SuperFox5, thanks for hanging out here at the end. I will be streaming. I will be streaming. Oh, special announcement. I will be streaming Choose Your Own Adventure games a week from Friday. So I've got a whole setup that we will be going through so that we can play Choose Your Own Adventure games. I've got a setup so that I can just like ask for it to vote and everything else like that. So we'll even do a quick little demo here. All right, pause this. And so yeah, so if I pull up Chrome and I make this smaller, I think. Yeah. So I built this web page, and I can open this, go to page 1. You can see it'll show the page. Go to page 2. And now you can see that there are a couple options on page 2. I would read through this, blah, 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 and vote page 2. Now I have the bot set up in a different chat right now, and maybe it's not going to work at all. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like it's not going to work. But anyway, I have a bot that is going to provide options for voting. You'll be able to see that and everything else like that. Yeah, so I got here, and I programmed this, and I've got a YouTube bot that goes along with it, which seems like maybe it has died, but it will work. And we'll be doing that a week from Friday. We'll read through a couple of different Choose Your Own Adventure books, and I can say, like, go to page 110. Well, hold on. Go to page 110. Go to page 100. I guess there is no 110 in this book. Yeah, so I programmed through this. I've got the pages here. I got the whole thing. That's what we're going to be doing a week from Friday. So definitely tune in if you are interested in Choose Your Own Adventure books. And we will be playing through them. So tune in for that. This Friday will probably be either Super Mario Odyssey. Will probably be Super Mario Odyssey. And then a week from Friday, Choose Your Own Adventure. So I will see you all later. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. It has been fun. I hope you have had fun listening to me. I'll talk to you later.